Hello, everyone. Whoever is watching. Hey, Pig's Dream. Can you hear me? It's pretty windy here. I don't know if you can hear me. Hey, Ari. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you said yes, yeah. I already had 3 conversations that I recorded with my camera, but now it seems that the crowd has thinned out a bit. But if we don't get anything in the next 10 minutes, then I will move. Hey, Martin. Nice to see you. Hey, vegan stoner lady. How are you? You guys want to try? Nice. Okay, hi. Where are you guys from?
Well, she's Dutch, I'm Italian. I live in Italian.
A whole international team. I love it. Okay. So the social experiment is about oppression. How do you girls feel about oppression?
Which one?
Like oppression. So oppression. I looked it up before coming here. Oppression is like prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment.
Yeah, but like, you
In
mean
which-
as
in which
women,
environment?
as women, as colored women,
Whatever
as
it is.
exchange
Are you for it?
students,
Are you
as-
against it?
Against it?
Okay,
against it.
I
If
like
you're
that.
pro
Okay.
oppression, I don't think.
I don't think you should
I think
be
you're very
free.
privileged, and I don't think you understand a lot of things.
Thank you. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No.
Why? Why?
Even
should
if it
you?
benefits them.
Fuck you.
Well, if you
Bear
mean
with
like,
me. It will make
Oh,
sense.
sorry, no,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I'm just-
bear
I'm
with
just-
me. I get
if it just decisions you mean like something like the vaccine, and then it's like we made a decision that you might not agree with and just make you do it.
No, I mean
I
like
don't think
if-
that's oppression. That's just like
Yeah, that's not oppression.
that's not oppression, you know.
Yeah, that's looking out for the general interest of the
Yeah.
public, right? No, but we mean like actual oppression, where it's
No.
cruel or unjust treatment.
For example, Amazon not paying their workers fair wage and just
Exactly.
benefiting from that, I think that's very unfair.
Okay, so we agree that the powerful should not have the right to oppress the powerless, even if it benefits them. Even if the powerless don't know that they're being oppressed.
I think that as powerful people, you have a responsibility, just like a role model, just like a parent, somebody in power has the power and the responsibility with that to do what is right for the people who do not have that power or that voice.
Okay, so what you're saying is that with great power comes great responsibility.
Like my
and
boy
one
Ben
of them,
said.
yeah, like Spider-Man said, and one of the responsibilities, if you ask me, is to not oppress people or to overuse your power, to abuse your power, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll cut to the chase. How do you girls feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think we're oppressing them?
Into what?
Into slaughterhouses.
I mean,
We have power over them.
true.
We
I
don't
would
need to do this to them.
We don't need to do this to them. But I think we have come to a point in society where human and food source are so separated because humans do need to eat. We're omnivores.
We don't need to eat animals though, or
No, we
animal
don't.
products.
I'm vegetarian, so I
Okay, fair, maybe, but I mean, it was part of it. I mean,
It was.
we don't need to slaughter everything the way we do with chickens or with cows or with, I think for sure the meat consumption in the whole world
Yeah,
should
it's
just
really wrong.
go
It's
down.
exaggerated.
We don't need to eat meat every fucking day with every fucking meal.
Well, we don't need to eat it ever. There's no need for it.
No, true, but I think balancing things is.
And is it balanced? Well, because we come back, like, can you imagine an oppressor who says balancing things because they're born in a system that oppresses a powerless individual or powerless individuals, and they say balancing things because, well, I'm no longer oppressing them every day. I'm now only oppressing them once a day.
No, I agree. Like I'm not a vegetarian, but I have quite say. We were talking about this. the other day. I tried it like. I became vegan for a while, and then I was taking some subsidies
Supplements,
for
yeah.
supplements for it because I'm anemic and I had some other problems. And my doctor said, well, honestly, just get the meat because at this point I just need it. And I was like, okay. So I reintegrated a little bit in my diet, and my country fairly is. It's prone to eating meat. That's how I grew up.
We all grew up that
We
way.
all
right?
grew.
We all
No,
grew up
no,
that way.
I don't think everyone, but my country specifically has a lot of meat. But
Especially the area we come from,
yeah.
it's really hard to not.
not have it. But the
I-
way
I
we
can
have
tell
it
you
is
that-
very responsible. Like
I come from East Europe. From East Europe all the way to Netherlands, which is West Europe, all the countries are heavy meat eaters.
yeah,
All,
exactly.
everybody is heavy meat eater,
Exactly.
right? So, but do you think that's a good enough justification to take
No,
the
no,
life
it's
or
not.
to
But I do
exploit certain
think like
individuals?
to take it off the diet and to the culture is really hard. It's obviously there's this you can choose to change it, but you cannot obligate my grandma to take it off her diet. You know,
So
because she's never gonna adjust it, which I think again it's hard and I don't necessarily agree with it. But what I can do and try to do with actually that's what my family does in general is try to consume from places that do respect. I know it sounds harsh to say, but it's like do respect the life of the animal and they just take what they actually need and not put like a mass of animals in cages and just get
Okay.
everything.
I think if it's quote unquote fair,
It's still not fair, but it's like it's the best we do out of like what we have.
Okay, so Len, you said a lot there, and
Does it make
I wanna
sense?
challenge all of it. So I have heard all the reasons, by the way, right? I've been
Yeah.
hearing here and hearing
Yeah,
a lot of
you've
reasons.
probably been here a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. So what I can tell you first of all is yes, it is hard for a society to change because there's a lot of people in society. For
Yeah.
an individual, it's not hard to change, right?
No,
if
exactly,
you
that's
want
what
to
I'm
stop
saying.
by being part of a system,
Yep,
you just stop being part of the system, right? I agree. I'm not standing here to change the system. Well, I would like to change the system, but obviously what I'm standing here is to try and change individuals, right? And you
Yeah.
three are right now faced with the option to change, right? Obviously, there's a lot of reasons we can go back and forth, like saying, well, animals, there's farms that treat them better,
Obviously, that's what I said. It's
like
not,
during
it's not
their
a full
life,
reason.
but then they still have
They
their
still
life
have to
taken
do that,
away
yeah.
for something that is essentially optional to us, and it's still unfair, isn't
I
it?
agree.
And they still get exploited at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Which we don't want that because they're treated as resources, right? That's what they do. Farmers, they love their animals, like I love my camera and my microphone. When they're no longer good, I get rid of them and get another, right? That's what farmers do to animals. They're resources to them. So they love them up until they have to slaughter them, right? So my question to you is, do you want to be part of this type of system? And wait, before we do go into this, how much do you know about the dairy industry? You're a vegetarian, you say. Do you consume dairy products?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so how much do you know about the dairy industry? Just to put
Quite a
things into
lot. We'll say
perspective.
that
Just to
whole
put things into
conversation.
perspective a little bit, because I think like a lot of people
Well,
don't
you know
have
that
this perspective.
we like a cow needs to be pregnant for full time to be
Yes.
There you go.
producing. We
Yeah.
all drink oat milk here.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
But cheese?
Yesterday.
Cheese, I tried
Cheese
to
is
reduce
milk.
it. It's still there, but again, that my country works. Not we haven't always, not everything of course, but where I at least try to source things, they don't have always the milk from cows, and they don't make them pregnant all the time. It's still not correct that they take off the milk from the cow.
But let me tell you the standard practice,
yeah.
which is also in biological farm, free range and all of it, right? So farmers don't wait for cows to get impregnated,
Yeah.
to get pregnant on their own, right? They
Yeah,
don't
no,
wait
they
until
just
they want.
inseminate.
They forcefully inseminate
Yeah.
them, right? Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix and injects bull semen. Somebody
Yeah.
has to jerk off a bull for that to happen.
Yeah.
And when the baby is born, what do you think happens to the baby?
It gets taken away from the mother. you know, they
Exactly,
get
because the
separated,
milk has to go
testicles
for the
somewhere
human
else,
conception. Yeah, if the baby's a male, they get
Yeah,
slaughtered.
they get slaughtered.
Yeah, if the baby's a female,
Yeah. Opposite
same
from
as their
China.
mother, same fate.
Yeah,
Year
yeah,
over
yeah.
year, forceful impregnation until like 6 to 8 years. when the farmer can no longer justify keeping them alive financially because they don't give enough milk. So then they all go to a slaughterhouse.
Yes.
They can live 20
Yeah.
years, but they get killed at 6 to 8 years.
Yeah.
And a miserable life at it, where they're exploited. They don't understand why they're taken from their mother. They don't understand why they have their babies taken from them. All they like they're
Yeah.
just used as milking machines. That's all they're used as. For farmers, the fact that they make babies, it's an inconvenience to them. They rather not make babies. In fact, they're trying to make only female babies because male
Yeah.
babies are such an inconvenience, right? So do you want to be part of the system like this? Because when you buy a product an animal product, you are supporting a system like this financially. You are saying do more of this to farmers.
Well, as I said, I've been vegan for a while, so it's not like I'm not supporting it. But I also, my body was not grown that way, and I was not supporting it on a daily basis.
Yeah, well,
I was taking supplements and I was going to the hospital, so I guess I needed that, and now I'm better. I'm still trying to consume as less as I can. So.
but just so you know that in doctors in Western Europe, in US also, don't have any nutritional knowledge. So if you go to a doctor to consult for nutritional knowledge, you're not going to the right person.
I know, but I'm
You should go
saying
to
I
a
agree with you.
nutritionist.
So
Yeah. So if you agree with me, that means you don't want to be part of the system. That means you would rather go vegan, right? What do you think veganism is, by the way?
Not consuming animal products.
Yeah, so veganism is a moral stance. It's not a diet. It's a moral stance
yeah, it's
where
also
we
don't
oppose
use don't use clothes that are made.
Yeah,
with it.
exactly.
I know,
It's
I
a, it's
agree.
a, it's against the commodification of animals. We don't want animals to be exploited, abused, or slaughtered for us, for food, clothing, entertainment, or anything else, right? Does any of that speak to you?
Yeah, of course.
How about you?
Yeah.
And you?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, sure.
I mean, some
But
people
that's what
can
I'm
say
saying.
no,
Like
right?
you're selling something to someone that agrees with you.
Well, if you
So-
agree with me, your actions don't agree with me, right? Because if
yeah,
you
but
buy
I'm
animal
getting there. Of
products,
course, I'm not every day consuming.
Yes, I think it's not necessarily about the change instantly, right? We can change as individuals, but at the end of the day, it's also the big companies that are quote unquote selling these things to us, and people that are not aware.
well, you're giving money to the big companies. It's not the big companies' fault.
Yeah, but that's the
they're
same
giving
kind of
money.
like reasoning as saying that global warming is happening because I'm showering 5 minutes longer.
It's not, because in fact, actually, global warming is happening. What I think the second biggest contributor to global warming is animal agriculture. So, in fact, that means you are responsible. The best way, if you want to reduce your carbon footprint, is to go vegan anyway. But like, this isn't about the environment, right? Like, imagine me standing here and speaking up for animals that get exploited, for women that get exploited, and we start bringing up, yeah, but companies do this, yeah, but animals do this, right?
No,
At the end of the
course.
day, you gotta ask yourself, do you want to keep exploiting them? Because you can't stop. Like, I understand why you're saying that there's some medical thing. I'm not a professional about that, right? Like, I can give you resources to consult a professional, but you two have no other
No,
justification.
but what
do
I'm
you?
saying is, you can say to people. Obviously, I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
But you cannot change everything overnight, and I think we need to start
not?
appreciating.
Why not?
Because
that's
it's
just not
It's
how
not how it
people
works.
work.
Nothing works. It's not realistic.
No.
But you can appreciate and support small changes
Yes.
by time.
Well, mental change happens overnight. It doesn't like you understanding
don't
that
agree
when
with
you
that.
when you if you understand that when you buy an animal product, you exploit an animal and you're against it, right? It happens overnight. It's not like, oh, I need time to think about it. That's something that you either understand or don't. Like, do you understand that?
Yeah, of course, but it also depends how many sacrifice or things you need to do in your life and how easy it is to get that thing.
Yes.
So you cannot change your habits and you cannot change your things overnight because, again, I went vegan from one day to the other and then my body did not support it. But what
I can give
do
you
is to-
resources into that. Like, let's say you have all the necessary resources available to go vegan overnight.
But you go, but it doesn't really, it's not your body cannot take a change overnight. You're,
I mean, biologically, that's not something that I would agree on. I did it overnight. A lot of people did it overnight. There's nothing
yeah,
that.
but that great, it works for you, but not for the whole population in the world.
You cannot force your way. And besides, there's a lot of people who do not have the luxury or the resources.
Are
to
you those
either-
people?
It's
Are you
twice
those
as
people?
expensive to buy.
I
like,
am
a piece of-
talking about people in general. What if I was one of those people who did not have the resources to change overnight? It is unfair to
What kind of resources do you mean?
We have
the money to buy
and,
vegan
accessibility.
products,
Well-
access to shops that sell the right products.
What if you found out that it's
information.
actually cheaper to be vegan than it is
That's not-
otherwise?
I
Depends on where you
honestly,
live and how you live.
I
Well-
eat vegan most of the time, and the amount of money that I spend on groceries since I cut out like all the dairy and meat
Dairy
has
products.
gone up.
Have you
Depends
adjusted
on-
for inflation?
It Yeah, obviously. But
Because
it
inflation
depends
has been
on
growing
lifestyle.
a lot.
It depends on your lifestyle.
Yes.
If you are someone who doesn't have, example, doesn't have a focus on like,
Health.
I'm thinking, not health, but example, if you want to be a weightlifter and put on muscle and build a lot, you need to eat a lot.
Yes.
And trying to get that amount of protein from just those, and I'm not talking normal amounts, I'm talking 160, 200 grams of protein per day.
I have
just
300.
doing it, yeah, like doing it just through chickpeas or tofu
Or
isn't
powder, or
Yeah, it affects
Well,
your
no, but like
digestion.
yogurt, you can have soy yogurt has its high in
Yeah,
protein.
I know, I
You
know.
can have a
Yogurt.
lot of other stuff, right? Like it's
I'm
not.
saying
It's
that
what you're saying is that there's one or two products that we can only consume. But what I'm saying is that it's not a matter of like let's say if you tomorrow find out there's this tick that when they bite you you become allergic to animal products, right? If you tomorrow get bitten by this tick and you become allergic to animal products, what would you do? Would you not find a way to do it?
I mean, I would literally have to. If
You would
that,
literally have to. So why is it that you don't understand right now that it's a moral obligation? Because you're not in the shoes of those animals, but those animals do get exploited and killed for you.
That's true. And I mean, it's not that I'm not doing anything. Everybody
I'm
is.
not saying that. I'm just saying like the moral baseline should be that we don't exploit any animal, right? I'm not saying that you're not doing
Obviously,
anything,
but
right?
it's like then it's the same moral for which we shouldn't be doing worse. It's the same moral which we shouldn't be doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you cannot change. You're not gonna go to like the people that are through war right now and say, "Can you just please stop? It's not moral." Are they
No.
gonna do that?
No, but like,
Like-
but like
You know what I
you have an option, right? Every time
You
you
have
make
the
a
option,
choice,
of course.
Yes.
3 times per day when you make that choice to eat, you can choose either to exploit a sentient individual or not exploit them.
Yeah, of course, but
You
Again.
don't have that choice when you're during war, right? When you're during war, you're in the war. I wouldn't go to a war country and tell them to be vegan also, right? Like I wouldn't go to places where I know that people might have high difficulty in being vegan. But like what is difficult to some, you gotta assess what is actually difficult to you, because the reality is it's not difficult to be vegan. If you live in a place where you have access to supermarket and fresh groceries, it's not difficult to be vegan. Pasta, rice, beans, lentils, all of this. And these are the cheapest things in the supermarket anyway. So you can do it. That's what my point is trying to say. You can do it, but
It's a choice.
Well, that's
it's
what
a
you just
choice.
said.
Yeah, it's a choice. But do you think that it should be a choice? Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless? That's why I'm asking this question.
No,
because
no, I don't think that we should. I think that like we should and we could like go vegan, but it's an utopic thing to say that everybody will do it now. Obviously, I'm trying my own path, and don't mind me. I also think there's a lot of other things going on. For example, do you realize how many like all the vegan section is completely plastic packed? Have you ever thought about that?
all of it is meat is
No,
also in
that's not. That's
isn't
not true.
meat in
Depends where you
plastic?
go. That I choose like to go to the market here
Look.
and get vegetables.
No plastic here. You
Yeah.
can buy it from here. the
That's what I
vegetable.
buy. The vegetables I buy them here.
Yeah, you
but-
can like all with any other cause, right? Like what I'm saying is with any other cause, you can still choose to care about that cause and do your life as you care about that cause. If you want to reduce plastic, you can still choose to reduce plastic and still be vegan. It doesn't contradict any other cause that you care about, right? Being vegan doesn't mean you will all of the sudden have to buy plastic or contribute to anything. In fact, all of the other things, you can make them easier, right? Because meat has to come in sterile environments, right? Meat has to be distributed, has to be kept in cold places. All the animal products need refrigeration, whereas most of the plant-based products don't need heavy refrigeration. They're actually much better in any other case, right? So like for the environment alone, the footprint of a vegan is a quarter of the footprint of a heavy meat eater, and heavy
that's
meat eater
why
means
I
100 grams per
drink
day.
goat milk. So, but
Yeah,
sorry,
but
I don't,
cheese
I
and
don't
all
get,
of this. What I'm trying to say is that
She's
it's.
lactose intolerant, by
Like-
the way. She doesn't eat
like,
cheese.
I don't,
Ah, okay. No,
Like,
I thought you
but-
said you eat sometimes.
no,
too,
I
but-
eat sometimes because I like it, but I'm just trying to get why you keep trying to sell me something that I already agree with and I'm already working towards.
It's okay. I appreciate that you're working towards. I'm not necessarily only talking to you or about
No,
you,
I
right?
know,
I'm
I
talking
know.
to both of you, all three of you, right? And what I'm trying to sell you also is the urgency of it, right?
No, of course, that we agree with. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think anything helps. Anything really helps.
Yes.
And humans are naturally imperfect and selfish.
Yes.
And if you can do even just something that will help the cause, I'm not saying it's enough, but it's better than just doing
It's better than
reducing
nothing.
or eliminating.
I
some
mean,
of those
obviously it's better,
products.
but like, imagine somebody beating their wife every day and then saying humans are inherently selfish. I only beat them once a week now, so it is better.
No,
It's
Yeah,
but
but
It's a
I
different
mean, like,
topic. I don't think that's
yes.
not what I'm talking
why is
about.
it? It's an injustice towards a
but what
woman,
you can
and this is
do,
an injustice
You're
towards an
comparing a
animal.
woman to a cow right now? What? No,
I can
can't.
compare anything to anything at the end of the day, but what I'm comparing is
No,
the
dude.
injustice
what
factor
we're
of it,
saying
right?
is you cannot expect that tomorrow everybody will be vegan,
Yeah.
but you can tell here in the street to say, hey, maybe you can
Educate.
try to look forward to like a
Better
place
alternatives.
for better alternatives. Because
To
if you
make-
just
to
start here
improve.
like telling people this way, they're not gonna want to make me vegan. I just
No.
want to like eat
But
cheese
I'm not.
right
I'm
now.
not here to high five you
No,
when you
I
reduce
know.
your animal intake, right?
No,
I'm
but
here
you
to tell you
should.
that when you buy an animal product, I'm saying okay, it's better if you reduce it, obviously. But what I'm saying is it still doesn't meet the moral threshold where we don't exploit, abuse, or slaughter animals who want to
I
live and
get
be
it,
free.
but what I'm saying is you're getting to the final point when you first should be at the first one, which is like get the better option. If you're here to tell me how much we exploit and how much we should change, I'm not gonna change anyways. But you should educate on the first steps to get there.
Okay, let's put it
I
this way.
think.
Did you understand? Because I don't want to. It seems like we're getting into a contradiction that I don't want to get into. This
Yeah.
you should be this way or you should do this way. Did you understand that when you buy an animal
Yeah.
product,
Yes,
a
I
sentient
do.
individual will be exploited and slaughtered for you specifically?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you understand you're complicit in this.
Yes.
Okay, do you understand that you can't stop?
Anytime.
Immediately.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, that's all I want you to. That's all I want to get from you. Okay, and just keep in mind that going forward, while you didn't know in the past, when you buy an animal product, an animal will be slaughtered, exploited, abused for you. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
what we know. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you some resources. I want you to look further into it. It might seem like I'm being pushy, but if you were in their shoes, I would fight the same way for you, okay? I would try to fight with all that I have so that people stop exploiting and abusing you. That's all that we're doing, okay? It's about the animals, it's not about myself. You may dislike me, and that's fine. I can live with it. Just please don't take it up on the animals, okay? That's all it is. Normally I have cards, but unfortunately don't have cards today, so I'll give you all three. One of this is, so this is a map with all the, well, not all the, but good vegan places in Amsterdam.
That's cute actually.
Yeah, I strongly recommend that you watch that. And there's that you use some of them. Some of them are really good, and they're also marked as healthy or
know.
unhealthy or junk food.
Yeah, I know the junk food bar.
Yeah, and
That's the one we talked about. Flour burger as well.
on this other side, there's a thing. If you go to veganfuture.org, there's a thing called the most important speech you'll ever hear. Just give that a watch. It teaches you about the practices in animal agriculture, because I'm sure you don't know about eggs or other stuff.
Oh, we do actually. We get educated at that in school.
Okay, so you know about how male chicks are
Yes,
killed
or
with a
how that's what I told you in the beginning about eggs and like in general.
Well, either way, it's a good refresher, right? It's nothing
know.
bad to have a good refresher, to know what you're paying for.
Of course.
It's not necessarily that it will be gruesome content, but it is just teaching you. It's a guy who went to a university and held a speech. That's all
Yeah,
it
of
is.
course. Nice.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. This is actually cute.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your names?
I'm Anna.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you, Anna.
Eileen.
Eileen. Nice to meet you, Eileen. I'm Chip.
Sarah.
Sarah. Nice to meet you. Okay, just please keep in mind the animals, the victims on the other side, right? We don't want to create a trail of victims as we move in life, right?
No, true, but I think moving forward, for you standing here, it's nice to maybe get people involved in the conversation rather than almost making it seem like you're shifting blame.
But I mean, you understand that
You
you
are
are
shifting-
guilty
Yeah,
of
but
it.
I understand your
Yeah.
purpose. I
But that's
understand
not
what
how
you're
you
trying
get-
to be here, but you are quote unquote almost. I feel like you are shifting. It's our fault that these animals are dying.
Well,
We are doing-
some animals die because of you.
Let me.
Yes.
We are doing our part in doing how much we can to solve and fix and eradicate this fucking issue.
Well,
right?
seems like you're not, because you said you can be vegan. You admitted that you. I asked you, do you understand that you can stop immediately? And you said
Yeah,
yes.
but you don't
Yes.
understand
But you
anything
seem to
else in
say
the
that you
middle.
can-
Yeah,
not.
but you don't know.
You're an extremist, and that's great
Is it
for you.
extremist to stand here and say to not
no,
exploit
it's
animals?
Not,
It is.
it's not extremist, but it is
It is
a
extremist
lot
to-
to involve us in a conversation and then say that we are
It's
actively.
one directional.
Yes.
I think people who are making a difference probably have their reasons, and very specific reasons
Yeah.
why they can't make the full shift immediately without steps.
I think it's nice to encourage people
Yeah.
to make a difference, even if that difference is small. Even though this is an urgent matter, and I agree with the urgency of this matter, you should help people want to make those steps and educate them on how to do that, right? I feel like this was maybe a bit not that.
It's okay. I appreciate the feedback. It's okay. I have moments when I'm more lenient and moments when I'm more tough. I guess
I
you
mean,
cut.
you've been here all day.
You
I
can,
get that.
I haven't been.
It's a
I've been here
lot.
for an hour and a half, but like I guess you caught me at my tougher moments. But that's okay. You know, like you would be surprised that some people, when you're lenient, they say, "Fuck it, I don't care. Might as well
Yeah.
go." And when you're tough, people will understand it better. You never know what will
No,
work.
it's
That's the
true.
reality of
It's-
it,
it's,
right?
people
So
are
while
different.
I appreciate the feedback, I do appreciate the feedback, and obviously reducing animal intake is better. I'm not saying no. As long as your goal is to go vegan,
Yeah.
it's obviously great. But what I'm trying to say is, maybe think if you really are doing the best, because doing the best would mean like, and you don't have to, because for a lot of people it's a commitment issue, right, where they're like, I'm never going to be eating these products that I ate my whole life. But if you take it one meal at a time and you say, my next meal
That's
is
what we're
vegan,
saying.
and my next meal is vegan, and my next meal is vegan, at some point you're not going to miss it at all anymore. Okay? There's also Challenge 22 there, by the way. There's a thing called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, help you get the best nutrition that you can on a vegan diet. That sounds like something you might need.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they send you recipes every day, vegan recipes, hook you up with a nutritionist, and do all of it that you need. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
in mind,
Good luck
it's
today.
for the animals, okay?
Thank
Have a good one. Grande dame, I'm not a reducitarian. I think I explained pretty carefully what I meant. Explain pretty clearly. Take it one meal at a time, but it's moral imperative to stop. Don't let them tell you how to do it, says Ali. No, I'm not gonna let them tell you how to do it. In fact, I think I'm gonna be a bit more direct today. I'm feeling in a more direct mood. Got new glasses, nice. Actually, these are the glasses that I used during outreach. The other ones were dirty and I had to wash them, and I was lazy to wash them, so I used these ones. I mean, obviously you can clean glasses with just a cloth, but I mean, like, I like washing them, like actually washing them with hot water and stuff. Let's see. Islam says I like meat. Everybody, if you're a moderator, please don't kick out the meat eaters, okay? Let them have listen to the conversations. Yeah, Islam, think about what is meat, huh? It's the body of sentient individuals. By the way, we're sitting here next to, this is one of the most famous markets in Amsterdam. It's called Arbor Kaupmarkt. There's a animal secretion store just down the street. Yeah. Well, hey, want to try it? English. Hey, Has. I just watched the end of that last conversation. Chip was called an extremist. What? Yeah, for telling them to change immediately. Has. I was called an extremist for telling them that they should change immediately after they said they can change immediately. Oh my God, so ridiculous. It's okay. It's okay. I'm like, I felt like these girls needed a push. Honestly, that's what I felt. I felt like being a bit more strict with them would give them the push. I know they said, oh, otherwise, but I feel like if I would have been otherwise, they would have just swiped it under the rug. Hi. You want to try? Can you come and view? Oh, you're live, by the way, if that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how do you feel about oppression?
You go.
It's not going to be an easy topic.
No, I don't even know if we should speak to this.
Well, I can define oppression for you if you
Yes,
want.
please.
Okay. So it is, there's no, so by the way, we are in a circle here where it's okay to say if you don't know something. Okay. There's a fuck ton of things that I don't know. Okay. I'm nobody's born knowing everything, right? So oppression is it means cruel or unjust treatment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say are you for or against oppression?
Against.
Against. Okay. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No, they shouldn't.
Okay, even if it benefits them.
They shouldn't. They should never.
Okay, even if the powerless don't know that they're being oppressed.
Also, no.
Okay, thank you. Even if the powerless maybe looked different, they had a different skin color, maybe a lot of hair or something.
No.
No. Okay. So then, how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think we're oppressing them?
Definitely. We should all be vegetarians.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Okay. Okay. Do you consume animal products?
Yes.
Okay. What would get you? What would incentivize you to stop and to consider the animals and their lives, or to consider them morally?
You wanted to do that. Did you want to answer too?
Come on,
Yeah,
tell me.
no,
If you wanted to do it, you're perfect. Come on.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't know. It's a really tough topic, and it's difficult because everyone
It's also
should
a cultural thing.
It's a cultural thing, of
probably.
course.
You come
Also,
from Italy.
it's not easy. So yeah, I generally wouldn't know.
So
Yeah.
when you're saying it's a cultural thing, are you saying that culture is holding you back from doing it?
Kind of, because if you go out just also for dinner, I don't know, it's really common to find a lot of not vegetarian. Like there are, in Italy, for example, in my city at least, most of the time in the menu there's no vegetarian options, so it's really limited. Like if I want to be a vegetarian, like I just can't. Like of course I can, but it's tough. It's difficult.
So you can find an option always, right?
No,
No?
no.
So then if you go to, what you're saying is that there's places where you go to that there's no options, right?
Yes,
For you
a
to-
lot of them.
Okay,
At
but
least
there are places where you have options.
Yes.
Within walking distance.
Yeah.
So you don't
It
have to
depends.
eat in that place.
Yeah, but it depends. Like
I
literally,
think it's a cultural thing because all of your friends are probably not vegetarian. Your family isn't.
none.
Well,
I
not,
think it
neither for
plays
me, right?
into
We're all
it,
born
yeah.
in this culture
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it's.
yeah, yeah.
But my question to you is, knowing that animals get exploited, abused, and slaughtered for you, do you think culture should justify us continuing
No, I'm
doing
not
it?
saying that. I'm just saying that it's making it difficult, like even more
Yeah.
difficult. Like
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that maybe it's not the most easiest thing.
Yeah,
Do you girls know what veganism is?
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Can you walk me through it?
Vegano, no meat, no fish, no everything that comes from animals, right?
Yeah. Why
Like
do you think we do that?
To save animals? Yeah.
To not oppress animals,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
So veganism is a moral stance. It's not a diet. It's a moral stance where we say we don't want animals to be oppressed. We don't want them to be commodified for us. So in that sense, we don't want them to be exploited, abused, or slaughtered. For food, clothing also, we don't wear leather. I don't know if that's leather.
It's not real.
Okay,
no
okay.
worries.
Food, clothing, entertainment, or any other thing, right? Like if I were to ask you, would you find it absurd if a person would be like, do you know bullfighting in Spain?
Yeah.
Are you for bullfighting? Are you
No,
against that?
Against.
Yeah, because it's absurd, right? It's to harm animals or to exploit animals for pleasure. It's ridiculous, right? But then if you think about it from the perspective of our diet, when we can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet, that means the sole differentiator is taste, right? And
Yeah.
taste is a pleasure. So is it not the same thing that we're doing when we're buying animal-based products
Yeah,
for
that's correct.
consumption?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just like I think people find it easier to not go to like the bullfights in Spain because you really see that the animal is suffering, and we don't see that our chicken has been suffering before when we buy it in the supermarket. And I think that's the problem, like to make people more aware and like have them switch to like a vegetarian or vegan diet. I think people should be more exposed to. Like there should be little TV displays in the supermarkets showing
I completely agree on that
this
one.
animal was killed like this, and then
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure no one would buy it anymore, or like a lot of people, at least here, I feel like.
But it's not just about the killing. Like, let me put things into perspective a little bit. How much do you know about the dairy industry, for example?
Fairly,
Yeah. So why do cows produce milk?
because they make them have babies over and over and over again. They take them
Exactly.
away from them.
Exactly. Yeah. So for farmers, they forcefully impregnate the cows Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix and injects full semen, right? They basically touch them in the parts that we shouldn't be touching animals, all to get them to forcefully inseminate them. And after 9 months when the baby is born, as you said, they get separated from the mother because the milk has to go for human consumption, even if the cow made the milk for their baby, right?
Yeah,
And what do you think happens to the baby if they're male?
being killed because
Because-
they don't do anything.
Yeah, they don't produce milk, right? So they're getting killed. And women get suffer the same fate as their mother, forceful impregnation of year over year, until like 6 to 8 years, when farmers can no longer justify it financially, keeping them alive, and then they all go to a slaughterhouse. Like, and they can live up to 20 years, so they don't live even half their life. And that half life is miserable because they get exploited. They don't understand what's happening to them. Like, do you want to be part of this system? Do you want to keep supporting this system?
Not necessarily. Like,
No,
yeah, that plays a lot of things into it, and I already think that you can contribute to a more positive change if you decide to not wear like clothes that are made out of animal skin, or you say I'm switching to oat milk or other milk options, and you say I eat meat very occasionally. So I think if you're aware of these things and you do your part, then that's already a good start.
But do you think is it enough?
It's not enough,
but it's a step. It's a tiny step. I don't know.
but then I'm like,
If you were in the shoes of the animal, what would you want yourself to do?
to stop, oppressing them.
Stop oppressing.
Yeah.
Would you want it to be a step-by-step approach, or would you want it to stop instantly?
No, I wouldn't want that. But then again, I am not the animal, and I do what I can from my side. And when it comes to other people, I say live and let live. It's not in my hands. Like, it's in my hands to have an influence on the people around me, like my friends and family. But for the rest, yeah,
Are you really doing the best you can?
I think so.
So if you were bit by a tick, you know there's a tick that makes you allergic to animal products. If you were bit by that tick and you would be allergic to all animal products, would you find a way, starting that moment, tomorrow, if you were bit today,
I'd be fine.
you would be fine, and you would find a way to never consume an animal product again.
Definitely.
Yeah. So then, isn't that your best? Isn't that something you could already do, knowing that the animals are exploited for you? Or
I
why is it?
could.
Yeah.
But then is this like now an intervention?
It's kind of like an intervention for
Yeah,
me.
it
Yeah,
does
it
feel
is.
like
It
it.
does feel like an
Like,
intervention.
I'm happy that I've shared my opinion, but then I think we're good.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just ask you a couple of questions because I want you to get from this discussion. Number one, do you understand you're complicit in this?
Yeah.
That animals go into slaughterhouses and they get exploited, abused, and slaughtered for you because you support the system.
Yeah. Aware of that.
Okay. Number one. Number two, you understand that you can stop immediately.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you some resources to look further into it, and I'll just let you know that going further, you have more of a responsibility because you weren't aware or maybe aware about all the stuff. But like, when you buy an animal product, an animal will be exploited, abused, and slaughtered for you. And even if you don't see it, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Okay. What's your names, by the way?
Selena.
Nice to meet you, Selena. I'm Chip.
Nice to
How
meet
about you?
Margherita.
Margarita. Nice to meet you. If for some reason you don't like what I did, that's okay. It's just keep
No,
in mind
it's
that
a good
don't take
thing.
it on the
It's a
animals,
good
okay?
thing. No,
You
no,
can
it's
say
all
I'm a
good.
dick, that's fine, but
No,
it's about the animals,
you
okay?
are doing a really good thing.
Just please, that's all I
Yeah.
ask you. Think about the
Yeah.
animals more. And if I can ask you one thing for both of you is, if you go to veganfuture.org,
Yes.
there's a thing called the most important speech you'll ever hear. It teaches you about eggs. It teaches you about all the common practices in animal agriculture. It's a speech. From time to time, he does show some of the practices, but most of the time, it's just a speech.
Yeah.
Please watch that, and just to know about what you're contributing to. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be part of it. And if you choose that you don't want to be part of it, Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist. They help you send you vegan recipes every day for 22 days to help you curb a habit. There's including people from Italy there. They'll help you out. And it's all it is. If you don't want to be part of the system, if you don't want to exploit animals, you'll find a way. But these are even more that. There are
Okay.
resources to help you do that,
Thank
okay?
you. Yes,
Thank you so
sure.
much.
Thank
And
you.
this is a map with vegan places in Amsterdam.
Okay, lovely.
Go-
Thanks.
like categorized by healthy, unhealthy, or junk food, okay?
Amazing. Thanks.
Nice.
Thank
you so much.
Have a
Have a
nice
good
day.
one. Bye. Yeah, just because they didn't go vegan right away doesn't mean they won't. People can reflect and change their minds. I agree. Yeah, but you see what I noticed is when I really want that map, says Christina. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of like made it. They may be motivated to go research so they know what they say of they ever come in contact with another vegan. Yeah, maybe. Vegan gains, how much do you bench? Are you asking my PR? My PR was 122.5 kilograms a bench. I weigh 80 kilograms, and that was 122.5, so I don't know, 1.5 my weight. Christina, these numbers mean absolutely nothing to me. I understand, Christina. That was my PR, by the way. I'm not like when I do 5 reps or 3 reps because I'm training with 531 now. When I do 5 reps, I obviously not gonna bench that. I bench like, I think my best 5 rep was 110 kilos, and my best 3 rep was 115 kilos. So, yeah. Just say my name, Sam Kitsah. There you go. It's live, yes. You wanna try? Okay. There were more people when I started. Charlotte says, would love to see you guys debate again, Vegan Power Lab and Vegan Gains. Well, I need to learn to debate first of all, and then maybe we can have a conversation about it, or debate, as you say. But I need to learn how to debate, otherwise it's not going to work. Otherwise, it's like a lawyer arguing with somebody, a regular person who doesn't know, right? It doesn't really matter, the arguments, as long as you don't know how to argue. So yeah. Is the gym even vegan? Because animals shouldn't feel pain, yet the gym is all about no pain, no gain. Yeah, well, veganism is not a position against pain, is it? It's about not exploiting, or not commodifying animals, so. You wanna try? We might need to move, because I don't see a lot of people coming. Hey, you wanna try?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
I'm Laura.
Laura, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I
Let
like
me
your
just-
t-shirt.
Thank you.
Support gay rights and gay wrongs. Nice.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Pride Month's over, but you know.
Yeah, I agree. All for LGBTQ rights. Okay, so I mean, this might work right up your alley then. How do you feel about oppression?
Wow, okay, great first question.
Yeah.
Well, bad, obviously.
Okay, so you're against it, right?
Yeah, I mean, any type. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Even if it benefits them?
No, absolutely not. Because if it benefits them, like, oppression cannot benefit.
Okay.
Because it's inherently something pushing down.
Oh no, it benefits the powerful, I mean.
Yeah, okay, sure, but not
Yeah.
the people that it oppresses.
Yeah. Well, or even if the powerless don't know that they're being oppressed.
Still bad.
Still bad, okay. Even if the powerless maybe look different, or...
Well, I think that's also a lot of people who are not in a place of power wish to be in a place of power, so they justify it because they want to be on top. Even though they don't benefit from it, they want to, so they kind of let it slide.
Okay, so how do you feel, this is why I do this experiment, how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us?
Bad.
Do you think we're oppressing them?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you consume animal products?
But yes, but only ethically sourced. I come from a farming family, but it's quite a small farm. almost entirely self-sufficient. So yes, we do have animals, but we care for them correctly, and we only.
But you're still oppressing them, aren't you?
Well, yes, in a way. But again, it is more ethical. We only, if they're old or they're sick, that's the only time we use them for meat. So they have a fulfilling life, and we use every part of the animal. So nothing goes to waste.
So anywhere outside of that, you'd never consume animal
No,
products?
absolutely not. I only the stuff that comes from our farms or from similar to it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what veganism is?
Absolutely, I do.
Can you walk me through it, just to be sure?
Any type of product either made by an animal or animal product itself.
Yeah, so veganism is not necessarily a diet. It's a moral philosophy or a moral principle, more like, where we oppose the commodification of animals.
Yeah.
That means we don't want animals to be exploited, abused, or slaughtered for us, for any regards, right? Would you say that when you farm animals, you are still commodifying them to some extent?
To some extent, absolutely, but we are, as a society, are at a point where we almost cannot have, for example, wild cows. There are some, but we've kind of, I don't know the correct word in English, they've evolved in a way, we've socialized animals in a way where they need kind of people to take care of them.
But we don't need to bring them to life in the first place,
No,
right? We don't
I
need
agree.
to
No, because
into an existence of exploitation.
Absolutely.
right?
Again, what I say with my family, we don't breed the animals. Sure, they get kids and we take care of those kids, but we don't. It's not the type of farm where we breed animals for consumption or for milk or anything.
But like, given that we don't need to do any of this, right? We don't need animal products to survive and thrive. We can survive and thrive on plant-based diets. And
Well,
be vegan.
that's not necessarily true. There are studies that say that certain blood types, for example, need.
That's not true.
No, it is. It is.
I mean, blood type doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean anything. Like, if you can show me the studies, I'm willing to. listen,
I
but
can try
otherwise-
to find them quickly, but it is true that some people with specific blood types have more difficulty going to to a plant-based diet. It's possible. It will be more difficult, and they will need more supplements, which of course is a choice you can make.
Yeah, but like, at the end of the day, the choice is between exploiting and not exploiting an animal. Should that ever be a choice?
I don't think so. Again, it's not as simple as saying we're not going to use any type of animal product anymore, because then you have massive breederys and farms specifically for exploitation that, yeah, those animals still exist.
Yeah, but like, obviously, if the whole world would go vegan, it wouldn't happen all at once, right? It would happen step by step, and
Absolutely, and I
some of
think
these would
it's
shift
definitely a
towards
good thing
other
to
things.
work towards.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but in a society-based system, obviously, things are going to happen step by step. But at the individual level, change happens not at the step by step or a change like this, right?
Well, I mean, you can absolutely start going more and more plant-based. I don't think it's necessarily healthy to go from eating meat 5 days a week to only taking supplements. I think it's something you need to build up to
But
if that's
still-
a choice you want to make.
But that still doesn't meet the moral baseline of not exploiting animals, right?
No, but I agree. But it's not as simple as just saying you should stop right now with everything, because then by doing that you're actually taking a lot of people off of the idea.
I understand that, but like, let me ask you this way: like, I'm specifically talking about you, right now, not about other people, because with every other person there's a different case scenario, right?
Yeah.
So, like, with your, and I understand that. What I'm saying is, like, you specifically, if you were, let's say, there's this tick that when they bite you, you're allergic to animal products, meat and dairy products. So, if you were bit by that tick today and you tomorrow could no longer consume animal products, would you find a way to make it work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would it be difficult?
Probably, because I have an allergy to mold, so I can't eat mushrooms.
Okay.
So for me,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't eat mushrooms, by the way, also.
No,
I
but
get it.
a lot of vegan products do use certain types of fermentation, or stuff like tofu, tempeh. They use a specific type of fermentation. If that's done wrong, it could cause a serious allergic reaction for me.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, I would have some issues because a lot of vegan food does use a lot of mushrooms.
But you could find a way, right?
I could find a way, yeah.
Yeah, so my point isn't necessarily that. My point is that why is it that if you were bit by this, you would see it as an emergency because it would be a threat to your life. But when it's a threat to a different life, like an animal, when it's a threat to their life, to their individual, like it's a threat to them being exploited, you don't see it so much as an emergency.
Well, I mean, me, for example, as I said, I barely eat animal products. It's like
But still, like,
thrice
imagine-
a month.
Imagine me seeing this way, like somebody beats their wife every day, and somebody coming to me and saying, like, well, I barely beat my wife, only once a week. Come on. Like,
I don't think that's necessarily a fair
But it is an injustice that's happening to an individual,
agree.
and somebody chooses to do that, right? And it's something that they can stop. That's the whole point about it. That the whole comparison is about that. I understand that maybe there you might see it differently. That for the women who gets beaten every day, you might think that it's much worse than for any animal. But is it much worse for any animal that gets exploited and beaten, slaughtered?
Again, I have this because of my background and how
Yeah.
I grew up. I think I see the scenario a bit differently. Again, that's also just how I was raised.
Yeah.
Because my big problem with the meat industry, I mean, absolutely, the way we treat animals is horrendous, and it's absolutely something we should pay attention to. But we as humanity, especially before capitalism and before overconsumerism, the way that we treated meat and animal products, I think was quite a peaceful coexistence.
I don't think it was ever peaceful. Agriculture was never peaceful. What we did is we selectively bred
but then
animals that were
don't-
more and more lenient.
but don't
We killed off
animals-
the ones that were against us, like we killed off the males. I actually started reading a book today about the similarities between the Holocaust and what we do to animals. And the
Okay.
similarities are very striking.
But again, that's the meat industry now.
well, that's the meat industry that's always been from
If
the
you
start.
if you
How
look
do you think
at
we
native,
selectively bred
no, but if you
cows?
look at native cultures, the
Yeah.
way they hunt. If you look at Native Americans and how they, existed with the bisons, for example.
Okay.
They would only take what they needed
Why are there no longer bisons then?
because all of the colonizers killed them to
Fair
kill
enough,
off the Native
fair enough.
Americans.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
don't do that.
Okay, fair enough. I maybe don't know enough on this topic, but like, let me just put it this way. Like, you're right that today we don't need it anymore, right?
Absolutely
and today
not.
it is like it is what it is. Like, okay, maybe in the past you could argue that there have been times when we need animal products. I still don't believe that's true, but like whatever, we can agree to disagree on that
Yeah,
one, right?
absolutely.
But what we can agree
The way
on
it's
that
going
with-
now
yeah,
is horrid. We can agree on that.
Exactly. So my point.
That's a bit of an unhinged.
Yeah, there's actually somebody in
option.
the chat who's a vegan and is a student also. They're part of the Vegan Student Association in Utrecht. I don't know if you know
Okay.
about that,
No.
but I'm sure there's Vegan Student Association also in Amsterdam
Probably.
University, right? And there's vegan students that can be vegan, right? So
Yeah, but
my point-
everyone's situation is different.
it's always slightly different, but the question is, I think like if there's a will, there's a way. That's my point, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right,
I'm
so-
just, yeah.
So do you have the will to not exploit animals? Regardless if your parents do it, I understand if your parents do it, right? But like, do you still want to be complicit in it? Because your parents keep doing it also because you're complicit in it, right? You realize that if you wouldn't be complicit in it, your parents
Well, I
would
mean, my
reduce
parents
it.
won't stop having that's their whole livelihood. They're not going to
Yeah.
stop just because I'm not eating the meat
Well,
anymore.
but maybe you should also get them to stop, knowing that it is
How
not good
on
for the
earth are they
animals.
this is like a family business. This
Yeah.
has been in our family for like generations.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell them to quit the farm. That's just it's just not going to happen. That's
Okay.
how our whole family lives. That's where they get their money from. That's where
But
you know,
imagine
all
like
of their
during
food.
imagine during slavery when there were slave owners or there were slave traders, and they said that that's how our family lives during slave trade. Like we do slave trade. That's how we get our food. It doesn't mean it's justified. Just because they do something unethical doesn't make it, and they get money from it.
And
it doesn't mean
again,
it's
as I
justified.
said, the way it's not just a meat farm. We have a lot of vegetables and stuff too. The animals we do have are treated kindly.
Until they get slaughtered.
Again, if it's only old age injuries.
What's old age?
Until they cannot walk anymore, or they have an injury, or they're so old that
How
they
old
cannot.
is for a cow?
I don't know. I'm not in the family business.
Cow can live up to 20, 25 years. Have you seen a cow live 20 years? Because I'm sure
20,
that you're.
yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. So have you seen any cow that has been from the day you were born there?
Well, I haven't lived there in a while, but we have some old cows. Yes.
I mean, listen, I don't. I like.
We can agree to disagree
can
on
agree
this
to
because
disagree on
it's
this,
a
but-
different way of life.
But you still have to ask yourself which part of it do you want to be, right? Like you still have to like even if you say, well, it's coming from a whatever kind of farm, right? You're still participating in this. Do you still want to
Agreed,
keep
yeah.
participating in this? That's the question.
Again, not necessarily, but again, it's just for me right now. It's not sustainable. It's not affordable. And again, I get what you're trying to say, and I get what you're trying to do, and I do try to make the plant-based option. But it's for me. I already have an issue with food. I barely eat as is. if the thing that I'm eating is at that point meat, if I can eat it, I'm gonna eat it.
How about if I give you resources to help you, like they hook you up with a nutritionist, they help you get the best nutrition and all of that?
I shouldn't do nutritionists. That's not healthy for me mentally.
Okay, watch out. This,
Interesting.
it's weird that you could pass through
Yeah,
that.
he should not be doing that.
Yeah.
But again, it's also a question of, for me, it's a delicate situation. Most of my friends are vegan. I'm having a sleepover tonight. She's vegetarian in that case.
Well, vegetarians are the same.
No, I know, but still, it's something.
Is it? Do you know what happens to dairy cows?
Yes, I do.
So you know how they have their babies taken from them?
I know.
Yeah.
I don't drink milk.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, isn't it?
I think it's a choice that everyone for themselves should make.
But
And I
they
do
would-
also think, like, I get what you're doing here. I get it's a social
But why do you
experience.
say that it should be a choice when we started from the start said that oppressors should not have the
Because-
right to oppress
No,
others?
I agree.
So
I
then
agree.
it shouldn't be a choice.
But if you're gonna force people or push people to do it,
No, I don't think we
it's
should
human.
force them.
It's human nature to push back.
No, I agree. Like I don't think we should force people. I also don't think people should have the
Yeah,
choice.
but I mean, no.
Right, we
Okay,
should-
fair enough. But
Yeah.
then you want to change the system.
Exactly.
But you're not gonna change the system by trying to push people on the street into being vegan. Like I get that you're doing it in a really respectful way, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it. But it's still pushy. And for a lot of people, that's gonna do the opposite.
Yeah, I'm sorry if
'Cause-
you feel that
no,
way.
no, it's okay.
It's strictly about the animals, you know.
I know, and I
It's-
get it,
If,
I'm not
if you were in
mad.
their shoes, wouldn't you want me to fight with the best way I can?
Absolutely. Again,
Right? Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. But I don't know if this is the way that it's gonna work.
But imagine because you talk about LGBTQ rights, right? Imagine the people who yell on the street, they go with banners. I did that also, supporting LGBTQ rights. And then other people are bothered by it. Yeah, they are bothered by it. But how is that why should we care about
No,
that?
people should be bothered by it.
Yeah, people should be bothered by it, right? Like you should
conversations
be
like these
inconvenienced.
should be a
Exactly.
bit uncomfortable,
I
and they
want
are,
you
and
to
that's
change,
good.
right? I want you to be a little bit uncomfortable. Okay.
No, I agree with that. Don't worry.
Okay, so I'll just give you about this. No, what I'm trying to say is like, regardless whether you agree with my method or my techniques or not, just please don't take it up on the animals, right?
No,
it's all about
absolutely
the animals.
not.
That's all it is.
And I will look into the resources because
Okay.
I think it's definitely a good thing that what you're doing here. I just don't know if this is the right way to go about it.
Okay, let me just tell you real quick what
Yeah.
you can get. Okay, so this is a map with vegan places in Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
in case you need judge by healthiness or not healthiness. And
That's actually quite smart.
yeah, and here you have veganfuture.org. What you can get there is there's a thing called the most important speech you'll ever hear. We'll give that a watch. It's a guy who went to a university in US and held a speech.
Okay.
Watch that. I think you'll understand it better than from
Okay.
my own perspective.
Sure, I'll
and
check it out.
if you choose that you don't want to be part of it, Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you vegan recipes and help you be vegan. And it's all free of charge. There's nothing. It's all for the animals.
Okay, that's definitely a good thing.
Okay. Okay. It's all about them. What's your name?
I'm Lara.
Emma.
It was good talking
Say
to
it
you.
again?
Lara.
Lara.
Yeah.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you,
Chip.
Lara. Okay.
Have
Just
a
keep
nice
in mind
day.
that going forward, when you buy an animal product, an animal gets exploited for you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Have a good
Bye-bye.
Bye. By the way, I think it got a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw. There was a thing said to reconnect something. I don't know what happened there on my phone. Geez, Chip, you are so aggressive and pushy. Yeah, I agree with your message, but you delivered it so meanly. Next time, say please and thank you, and I'll consider it. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that, but whatever, man. We do what we do, you know. We need to. It said it cut like 5 minutes, says Henry. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I guess it didn't connect or something, the phone. My battery is, well, it's not charging anymore, but the battery is full. It's 100%, so we should have some more conversations in me. Yeah, you know, when they start saying that on their farm is different, I really don't believe it. I don't want to give them that, but I also don't want to end up in this contradiction where they say, well, no, we treat the animals well or stuff. I mean, she was young. I'm sure that if she opens her eyes, she'll see that it's not actually the case. I have talked to vegan people from Netherlands who have told me that it's not actually the case. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. It's, I just, I really, I thought when I saw the LGBTQ thing, I thought she'll definitely get this. She'll definitely get it. And I think she got it. But the minute that I started pushing her and getting her to understand, because she got it, and then she slowly went a little bit, well, but I'm kind of doing enough. But the minute that I pushed her a little bit, she's like, oh, I'm pushing back. Like she explained that she feels like, oh, they need to push back. Really, come on. Like, you got to be a bit more open than that. It doesn't really matter if somebody pushes you or not, Sometimes you need a push. That's all it is. You're a rock star, Chip. Stay positive and keep it up. Over 100% watching. Over 100 people watching. Whoa, over 100 people watching. Hey, everybody watching, subscribe. Like it. And yeah, I have other things coming, by the way. Mistreatment of animals is often the news in the Netherlands. Yeah, it is. That's true. She definitely dug her heels in, debug her brain. No one letting their cows live 20 years. Exactly, Justin. Exactly my point. I don't think like she was 20 years. It's like, oh yeah, I eat meat, 3 times per week. Come on, there's no way. What, they killed a cow 30 years ago? You cannot even do the math and it doesn't work out. So yeah. Let's see if we get somebody else. We might need to move again. I feel like this corner works a little bit, but less and less people are here. I just put some vegan brownies in the oven, says Christina. By the way, Christina, you're a student in Netherlands who's vegan. What advice would you give to somebody who's student and vegan and says that it's expensive to be vegan? Because I don't think it is, but if people start saying, well, I beg to differ, well, it is, well, I don't want to get into a I say, you say thing, So do you have any better rebuttal to that? I'm on welfare, I'm vegan, says Linda. Yeah, that makes sense. I also find it much, much cheaper to be vegan. You're all... Talk to the driver. Nah, he didn't feel like he was. I think he's just a person who works here that went to grab something and go away. I don't think they're worth it, to be honest. Oh, the study. But the Vegan Student Association has discounts at restaurants in the city. Oh, that's cool to know. Okay, I'll tell her that. You can also ask them if they'd accept that they were in the victim's perspective. Like, would they say okay for someone to kill their family because it saved them 10% on their food? Yeah, exactly. That's so ridiculous. Oh, I guess this market closes at 5. Okay, I think we'll need to move to get more people. Let's see. If you're enjoying the stream, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. All that beautiful things. Everybody. Let's see, maybe we get some more people. You want to try a social experiment? No? Okay, we're gonna give it 5 more minutes. If nobody comes, we'll move. Meanwhile, you can enjoy the beautiful Amsterdam. This isn't the prettiest place, by the way. It's just a market, so it's kind of dirty and stuff, but it's a nice place. You wanna try?
Hello.
Oh, you wanna
Entice
try?
me.
Okay.
Very curious.
Can you come and view? You guys are live, by the way. Hope you're okay with that. Okay. How do you guys feel about oppression?
Oppression. About what kind of oppression?
So by the way, we're in a circle right here
Yeah.
where we can say when we don't know what something is, okay? Because I
Okay.
also wasn't born knowing. So before coming here, I looked at what the definition of oppression is, and it is prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment.
Okay.
Okay. So in general, what do you think about oppression? Are you for it? Are you against it?
I mean, I'm mostly against it.
Mostly against it.
Because obviously, yeah, because you're kind of like not allowing someone to act the way they would want to act, you know?
Exactly. So
I think also like being part of, being a human is being able to say what you want and, being able to express yourself in any kind you think to be reasonable.
okay. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
I think at the end of the day, power comes from, let's say, the powerless, right? Because people nominate others, right, who they think represent their opinions and their beliefs in the best possible way, and that's what democracy is all about, right?
But let's take democracy or political systems out of
Okay.
it, and let's entail a system or a situation where powerful somebody has a physical or intellectual power over somebody else. Do you think they should have the right to oppress them?
Of course not.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they should, I mean, obviously, because at the end of the day, like, they will be able to recognize that they have, like, that kind of power gap. But I feel like they should use that to kind of help the other person, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So if you
Yeah.
have power, you shouldn't abuse your
You shouldn't
power.
abuse it, yeah. You should kind of distribute it evenly and fairly.
Okay.
And I mean as well, like, for example, for a government, right, any society, right, gives up a bit of their freedom for all these rights and for the protection and security of the government at the end of the day.
Okay. Okay, I don't know exactly what that means, but let's move on. Maybe we'll get into that. Because the social experiment isn't necessarily about governments
No,
or
no, no,
relationship
no, I'm
with
just saying,
governments.
I'm
Okay.
It's more personal, yeah?
Yeah, so like, okay, do you feel, like, so we said that the powerful should not have the right to oppress the powerless.
Yeah.
What if it benefits them? What if it benefits the powerful? Should they have the right?
How would you define powerful and powerless?
As I said, like physical or intellectual power.
So would you say, for example, a business?
Yeah.
Right. If you define a business or like an owner of a business to have more power over their employees,
Yeah.
right? At the end of the day, they take on the risk, but in return, employees get a salary or a wage.
But
and a benefit.
that's not
That's what-
oppression because
yeah.
it's not cruel or unjust treatment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like they're given the choice and
Yeah, exactly,
they're
exactly.
taking the
Yeah.
decision to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, so it's about cruel and unjust,
Unjust.
right?
Okay,
yeah, that's what
okay,
I mean.
all
Do
right.
you think so the powerful should not have the right? We agree on
Yes,
this?
yes.
That they should not have the right to oppress the
Yes.
powerless. Okay. Even if it benefits the powerful.
Yeah,
No,
it's
yeah,
the
even
same concept.
same
yeah.
concept, yeah.
Same
Okay.
concept.
Okay. Even if the powerless don't know that they're being oppressed.
Then I would still argue that it's
Same.
it's morally wrong.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
it's morally wrong. Okay. And even if the powerless looked different, had a different skin color, maybe a lot of hair or something.
No, at the end of the day, we all bleed the same.
Yeah.
Okay, we all bleed the same. I like that.
You know?
Okay. Then this whole social experiment boils down to this question. How
Okay.
do you guys feel about, well, do you think that we're oppressing animals when we're forcing them into slaughterhouses for us?
I mean, yeah, of course, you know. I feel like at the end of the day, like I mean, look, also you need to understand, like, also comes down to like the process of it itself, you know. Because it is part of human nature. Because I mean, you could also argue with religious reasons that.
Well, it's not part of human nature to oppress animals. We weren't always oppressing animals, right? There were times when
I
we
mean,
were
can
hunting
I-
others. That's a different.
I'll give you an example. Like, for example, in the Islamic religion, you have this thing called like halal meat, you know.
Yeah.
And like halal meat means that when killing the animal and when turning him into food, the animal has to be treated rightly and he cannot be suffering, you know?
Okay.
Like it has to be.
Could I ask also one question?
Sure.
For example, take a bear,
Yeah.
right, catching salmon at a river or at a
Yeah.
lake, right? They're doing it to survive.
Yeah.
And I think if you take it back far enough, at the end of the day, we're also species, right, trying to survive. And I
But
think
we have choices. We don't have to do this to them, right? If the bear had choices and they were aware of their choices, then they should also not be exploiting animals.
Yeah, of course.
but it's also part of a balanced diet then. Wouldn't you say?
Well, I
it's
think you
it's
can
been
have
proven.
so I think you can have an unbalanced diet by eating meat. You can have a balanced diet by eating animal products. You can have a balanced diet by not eating animal products, and you can have an unbalanced diet by not eating animal products.
Of course.
I think whether the diet is balanced or not doesn't necessarily entail us eating animal products.
I have a question for you. So you're more on the side of you're completely against the idea of eating animal products.
I'm completely against the idea of oppressing animals.
But what if like let's say for example, you know, because I do get where you're coming from, you know, because yeah, like you see on videos, you have these slaughterhouses, and also the idea of like animals having to be born for the sole purpose to be, you know, injected with steroids.
Exploited and then slaughtered,
I completely agree. You know, like it is pretty cruel of the food industry in that sense.
Yeah.
Could I ask one question?
Sure.
What do you think is like an alternative to like milk? Like almond milk is fine, soy milk is fine.
Soy milk, almond milk,
So-
cashew milk, oat milk,
what would
whatever.
you say? Just one question, because you know you're saying now with dairy products, but would you say a bee is also an animal, like a living animal?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. I know you're using the whole what's his name argument.
No, I mean it's
bees.
like
but
billions,
you know in
billions
the
of bees get flown out to California. They live for maybe a week.
so don't have almond milk, then have oat milk.
The same thing.
No,
Okay.
oat milk is not the same thing.
So
It's from oats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
But
you're,
you
you're
know,
against-
pollination also doesn't happen from wild bees, but rather, or like we oppose also the commodification of bees and the pollination of bees. You see what I mean? Like
Yes.
we allow wild bees, and pollination doesn't just happen with bees. It happens also with I think bees are like 25%
Yeah.
do the pollination. So yeah, okay. If you don't wanna, if you oppose what happens to almonds, you can not buy almonds. I don't buy almonds. You can not buy avocado if that's your next argument. You can choose to not buy any of it, right? If you oppose it, that's still at the end of the day, you can still choose to live a plant-based lifestyle. There's so many plants out there, so many options that you don't have to do any of it, right?
But then
Yeah.
could I ask one question? Like a lot of these plant-based products, like I don't know what these like plant-based meat alternatives. Let's say they're made out of mushrooms,
Okay.
right? Why do they have to look like meat? Why do they have to like be in the form of a sausage? and all
Because
this?
for most people, it's difficult to give up meat, right? For most people, so then we have these alternatives that kind of look like meat, kind of taste like meat, so that they can give it up. You don't have to eat that, of course, if you don't
course,
like
choices.
that, right? It's a choice. But like at the end of the day, what we gotta ask ourselves is, should we choose the option that exploits an animal or the option that doesn't? That's all you want. That's all you can do.
I mean, look, I wouldn't. I get what you're saying, you know. Like I would consider purchasing normal meat. Yeah, there's a high chance that the animal has been exploited, you know.
Well, they definitely are. There's
Yeah, of
not a high
course.
chance, 100% sure.
100%. But I mean, you still have other companies that still kind of want to offer more fair policies regarding like selling meat, you know.
So what is it fair? How is it fair to any animal for them to have their life taken away from them, to be exploited and have their life taken away from them for something that is essentially optional to us? How is it fair?
I mean, look, okay.
Circle of life, don't you think?
Well, that's a Lion King reference, Circle of Life, and no, it's not. It's not the Circle of Life because.
Animals
Other
also
animals
eat
eat
other
it
animals
too.
the same.
It's either us or it's
But
other animals.
yeah, but
you know?
you know, like when lions meet, they sniff each other's butt.
Okay.
Lions kill sometimes they attack somebody's kids. Sometimes they commit rape. Animals do all sorts of things that we say we shouldn't do, right?
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
all of a sudden should we say we should do this one thing that animals
But
do?
wouldn't you think that at the end of the day we're also animals? But we're
We
just
are.
we're the most consciously developed and we're the most emotionally intelligent animals.
So if we are all that, then why would we choose to exploit animals?
I mean, look,
'Cause that-
because you can't really make the argument about like exploiting animals, you know, because you have to also keep in mind that, let's say for a balanced diet, you kind of want to get your protein in, you know. Yeah, I know you're gonna give me the argument about like, okay, at the end of the day,
You can have protein.
you can have protein, but yeah, but at what cost?
What do
At
you
how
mean?
much
I
food?
have a lot of protein from.
No, I know, but come on, like you're spending a lot of money for vegan products that are
It's
providing
actually
you.
cheaper to be vegan. There's plenty of studies out there that say it's cheaper, and I can attest to that because I used to eat animal products, and it is cheaper to be vegan.
Okay, so what would you eat in like on an average day?
On an average day, I eat
Yeah.
tofu. I eat a lot of soy products basically, but like tofu, tempeh,
quantity-
Isn't the production
uh,
of like soy also like a lot of water consumption, like a lot?
monumentally less than for the animals.
Really?
Monumentally less,
That's
like
true.
maybe 10 times less even. But like, yeah, it is like you can obviously compare soy to oats and say that soy uses more water, but compared to animal products, it's like a different category. It's like,
And what about like surface area wise?
what do you mean?
Let's say like a field. Let's say you have a hectare. How much soy can you grow and how many animals can you have there?
Oh, it's so if you're talking about land usage is also far lower
Oh,
for
interesting,
for for animal products, because like a lot of people when they think about animals, they forget that animals have to be fed. And like even including in Netherlands where you see cows roaming around free outside and you think they eat grass, the reality is they, even if they're grass fed, their grass fed is what, 70%, the rest of it is grown. It's
if you say you eat a lot of tofu, for example, what do you think the farmer does to protect his fields from the tofu? He has to kill all the animals, all the insects that try and.
But the farmer has to do the same thing for the food that's grown for the animals.
He has a choice also. He has a choice.
Right.
He doesn't have to.
So let's put it this way. What you're saying, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's right. It's obviously wrong. We should improve on that. But think about it this way. Like when you when you like, if land usage is far greater for animals than it is, then for every land that an animal uses, you do the exactly same thing. And for every land that you grow food on, it's less, right?
Yeah.
So per calorie and per protein, I think it's 8 times less land usage for a plant-based diet. But like all of this is environmental reasons, right? Like we can sit and talk about the environment all day, and I have sources and you can check them and look at it. But this is an injustice. This is an injustice towards individuals, towards animals. It's not about.
I want to have more of a personal conversation with you.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell, like looking at you right now, like you go to the gym, you know?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
pretty
obviously.
big.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, how many grams of protein are you eating a day?
Between 200 and 300.
But how are you getting 200 and 300 grams of protein?
I mean,
because how much protein
obviously
is 100
after
grams
the
of tofu, for example?
I mean, obviously after the gym, I have a protein shake, right? Like everybody does.
But do you have whey?
No, of course, whey exploits animals. No.
Okay.
I have soy. Well, depends on the day. Sometimes I have a combination of brown rice and pea protein. Sometimes I have a combination of brown rice, pea, and soy, and sometimes just soy. But yeah, I have three types of protein powders, and I combine them.
Because I mean, like, are you not concerned about where those sources of protein are coming from, especially from vegan protein powder?
What do you mean? They come from plants.
Yeah, but like, you know, like given the stats, like let's say for a scoop, at least for whey protein, like we know it's coming from the cows, you know, and from red meats and chicken, like it's, you know, we know, like for example, I think 100 grams of chicken breast has what, 31 grams of like actual, like natural protein, you know?
I don't think so. Do you know what the appeal to nature is?
Sorry?
Do you know what the appeal to nature is?
What is the appeal to nature?
So it's a logical fallacy that says just because something is natural is good, right? That's what the logical fallacy is. But the reality is that just because something is natural doesn't mean it's good, right? There are plenty of natural things that are bad for us, right? Like apple seeds contain cyanide, contain a thing that in our stomach gets made into cyanide, right? So just because something is natural doesn't mean it's good, right? So you saying that, well, that milk is natural, it's not. It's exactly as processed as soy protein powder, exactly as processed all of them. Right?
Yeah, of course. No.
And even if it were more processed, does it matter? Well, at the end of the day, again, like it's a matter of you can. What you need to know is that you can be healthy and thriving and get all the necessary nutrients from a plant-based diet. What you've got to ask yourself is, do you want to be part of the violence towards animals?
Can I ask you something? You're talking about fallacies, right? But do you think maybe instead of first caring about animals as a whole, don't you think we should first care about the human race as a whole? If you're talking about exploited animals, I can give you, I'm sure, a million more reasons how the human race is exploited in all kinds of different traits.
But why do you have to take one before the other? You can care about the animals and the humans at the same time.
But wouldn't you say we as a human race should prioritize that humans are first, not being exploited?
Okay, prioritize that. But
Yes.
when you eat, you make a choice. You choose. So why not choose the option that doesn't exploit an animal?
Well, I don't consider, like, okay, like I told you, I consider breeding animals for the specific purpose to make them to food. I consider that exploitation because they're putting steroids in the stuff. But
that's not exploitation because they're putting steroids. It's exploitation because they're being
suppression.
bred to be as resources, to be
eaten,
resources, right?
Exactly, specifically for that. But I think, okay, like if you allow an animal to live its actual natural life, and then when the time comes.
When is this? When the time comes? What does it mean when the time comes?
When the time comes, I mean, given like old age.
Yeah, no animal gets, like what you're saying is basically, well, the animal is old, they're not going to have a good quality of life, so might as well kill them. Well, the reality is all these animals, they grow to the biggest size they'll ever be before they even reach adulthood. Some of them reach adulthood, and afterwards, why would the farmers, for them financially, it doesn't make sense to keep them, right?
Yeah.
Right, so
But
they
it's a
kill
business,
them.
I guess.
It's
You're
a
right,
business to
that's
them.
the thing,
They
you
treat
know?
them as objects.
Yes.
It's a business to them.
I know, but that's
But do you think
that's
it's
the
fair
thing.
to treat them as
I mean,
objects?
No,
mean,
that's the part I
farmers-
think is unfair because
Yeah, they have emotions, they feel pain,
Exactly,
they feel all
yeah.
of that. But
I
if
mean-
you think it's unfair, when you buy an animal product, you are giving them money to do this. You are saying do more of this
But
to
I think it
animals.
also depends on like the circumstance in which you purchase those animal products. So for example, if I go to the supermarket and I buy like I don't know like a 50 pack of eggs for a couple euros, and I know like where these eggs are coming from, the quality and how they lived, compared to if I go to I don't know a farmer and I know like these chickens, they have a good life. You know, they're living on like the field, they're eating grass and worms and natural products, and then they lay eggs and I eat those eggs.
What do you
then,
think
know,
happens
can't
to
really
the
compare
chickens when they can no longer produce enough eggs that they can be financial? There you go.
killed, yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is that still not? You're still not supporting a system of exploitation. Like I understand what you're saying. What you're basically implying is that what if this animal is alive? They lay some eggs. There's no harm because those eggs are not going to be fertilized. You use them anyway. There is some concern there also because I can tell you for a fact that normally wild chickens lay 12 to 15 eggs per year, but the chickens that we selectively bred lay 300 eggs per year.
Yeah.
It's very taxing on their body. Imagine the egg is like imagine losing an arm every day.
Yeah, of course.
It's fucking insane. And in sanctuaries, they take the eggs, they hit them on the ground so that chickens eat the nutrients back in their body.
Yeah.
But like, let's say you find a situation when all of this is happening, then still farmers still exploit them. Like, and even if they don't, you're still commodifying the animal. You're still treating them as a resource, and then you're like the reason why we are in this whole situation is because we treated them as resource. Because we didn't like it's not a symbiotic relationship like we imagine. It's not one where we live in a
Food chain, no?
yeah.
Like we're apex predators, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I mean, let's say if you weren't the ones slaughtering and killing these chickens, like I'm like let's not say like that they would be having like their full life expectancy, they'd be raising a family. At the end of the day, another predator will come and take it, you know?
But that's not true
And also,
for
where
these
would you-
animals.
Okay, let's say now. We
Yeah.
sign an agreement everywhere, no animal products, no nothing. Where will you put the billions of cows, the billions of chickens? Where will you put them?
So let's put it this
Like,
way:
what's your
if the
plan?
whole world,
Like now.
if the whole world would go vegan
No.
all at once,
No,
right?
no.
If the whole world would go vegan all at once, we would need a plan to handle this situation. I'll agree with that. I don't have a plan for that.
Interesting.
But the reality is that at a society level, changes will happen gradually, right? At the
Yeah.
society level. So that means gradually, for some farms will shift from farming animals to farming plants. Some farms will shift from farming animals to being sanctuaries. And slowly over time, we will get rid of all of this. That's at a society level, but at an individual level, like you guys are, change can happen overnight.
Of course, but it's also a lot of the statistics that you've presented, right?
Yeah.
Like about it being healthier. There's countless other statistics.
I'm saying you can be at least just as healthy. I'm not saying you can be healthy.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying about that. But like in terms of like research findings, right? It depends how you do your research. If you do your research looking for an answer in mind, I can find you millions of studies probably also that say, you know, either veganism is healthier. But I can
What's the
find
number
same-
one? Okay, I don't want to get into this, but what's the number one killer? Okay, what's the number one cause of death for humans?
Disease and sickness.
Heart disease. Yeah.
Yeah, heart disease.
People die of because their heart stopped.
Yes.
What do you think is the number one causer of heart disease?
Cholesterol.
There you go. What products have cholesterol?
Chicken.
Animal products.
yeah.
Animal products. Cholesterol is not available in plants.
Yes.
And saturated fat is in some plants because saturated fat can also raise cholesterol, but saturated fat is very, very scarcely available in plants, and you can avoid that. Like coconut has saturated fat, but this isn't again about nutrition. It's about the
Yes,
animals. Like you got to ask yourself,
No, of course.
do you want to
Of
exploit
course.
animals? Like I want to bring it back because
No,
you
no,
guys
no, no,
keep
no, no.
asking me questions
Of
about
course,
the
of course.
practicability side of it, and we can discuss practicability of side of it. But I want you guys to first understand that when you buy animal products, when you are part of the system, you support the system. You tell the farmers, exploit more animals for me so that I can get the benefit, so that I can get whatever is out of this. Do you want to be on that side that's violent towards animals? That's what you got to ask
I mean,
yourself.
okay, if you put it that way, right? But then I can also say, like, I like the taste of meat.
Yeah.
For example, I've been eating meat my whole life. And I mean, like he said, depending on where you buy it, of course, and how you choose to support it.
There's
And
always violence.
but also, at the end of the day, it's a huge industry for millions of people working in the
that's-
livestock industry.
Yeah, it
right?
creates jobs.
It creates
But
jobs,
that's-
supporting people, and in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's very difficult to differentiate us as humans from, for example, other animals like a bear. right? Or like a wolf that hunts chickens, whatever, or a fox, right? We're still humans, but we're the most developed, the most consciously developed.
So then shouldn't
and
we behave
and
as
we,
such?
And we have found ways to feed our species in ways other than all these other predators have.
But this
right?
argument doesn't. By the way,
Why doesn't it work?
So I'll explain it to you in a second. But before all of this, right? What did you say before that? You said something before that. I wanted to reply to that, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
What did I say?
Where did you start your conversation with? You said
I said, well, what difference is it? Oh, I like the taste of meat.
you like the taste of meat.
I love it.
Yeah, and okay. So first of all, taste is a sensory pleasure, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think we can justify doing whatever we want to animals because it gives us pleasure?
I mean,
Right?
it's kind of.
And any farm that you consider, you say it's better or worse. Of course, there's marginal cases of slightly better, slightly worse, but none of them meet the threshold of not exploiting animals, and they're all violent towards animals.
I agree, but
Right.
that's a systematic error.
Well, it's
Couldn't you
not.
say-
You can't have meat from an animal without killing them. You can't have animal products
Yeah,
from an
but
animal without
but then you
exploiting
can't-
them.
I don't consider killing
can't-
cruel.
You don't. So if somebody killed you, you wouldn't think
Okay,
it's
but
cruel.
So what's the
I
difference?
mean,
No,
killing
no.
of animals, I
But
don't
what's-
consider cruel.
what's the
Why? What is
difference?
it? What is it that an animal? Why do you say that an animal so all of a sudden is okay to have their life lost and a human not? What is the difference?
I'll tell you, because I mean, like, I get your argument, you know? Like, I cannot give you assurance that, like, for example, like, these animals, these domesticated animals, would be killed in the, like, if they were in the wild, you know? But at the same time, you cannot give me the assurance and tell me that these
But these
animals
animals
would be
wouldn't
in the
be
wild
bred
and be
into
living their
existence.
happiest lives, you know?
But they wouldn't be bred into existence, and does it matter? Like if I consider that if my threshold and saying that you are not happy, and I would think that you would be live happier in my basement and where I exploit you and then I
But
slaughter you when I
think
think.
that's just like
That's-
the way the
that's-
world works. You know, it's not
Yeah,
just
it's
the
just a
same
food
way.
chain, you
It's
know?
the same way a bear.
So would you be
Strong
okay with you being in my basement or you being in my basement because I think it's better for you?
Okay, but look, can I ask you one
Yeah,
thing?
but we're,
Can I ask you one thing?
No. First answer this question and then we move on because otherwise
In
we're
your
not going to
basement.
get anywhere. Yeah.
I don't want to be in your basement, mate.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so why? Why is it that you think that if I take an animal into my basement and consider that it's better
Okay,
for
but that's the
them,
thing, okay.
it's somewhat okay? It's somewhat okay, but if I take a human being, it's not okay.
Could
Like,
I
what
answer-
is the difference?
Could I answer that by asking you a question?
Not if you don't answer this
Okay, I'll
question,
answer this
because
question.
we got it.
I will,
we gotta
I will
finish
make
this
like I will
question.
make an overall statement, like on behalf of a meat eater. So I believe the best solution would be, because again, at the end of the day, like historically speaking, like let's go to nutrition. We've seen for the past 1,000 years that eating meat and having a balanced diet, it works well for us.
It doesn't.
There's research studies now.
There's not.
Yes.
But keep in mind,
There's
in the,
not.
okay, but just please listen to me. In the 1900s, we thought that smoking cigarettes was okay.
No, we
50
didn't.
We didn't.
Yeah, we
we
did.
No,
get-
we didn't.
Yeah, we
Yes,
did.
No,
Yeah,
we
we did.
didn't.
Very
Yes, we
beginning, we
did.
did.
No, there
Yes.
was.
50 years later,
Doctors
studies
will
came
say.
out.
But in the
and we found
1900s,
that-
we didn't have the scientific method anyway, right? The scientific method was developed after, I don't know, 1930
There's
or
always new
something.
scientific methods to be developed.
No, there's not. There's you
It's the
know
same
what?
with everything. Like
Yeah.
when
It's
vapes
not the
first came
same with
out, it was
everything.
like, oh,
It's not
vapes
the
are
same
better
with
than
everything.
cigarettes.
It's not. It's not the same. But like regardless, what you need to know, all that you need to know, regardless, is that you can be at least just as healthy. It doesn't matter. Anything else doesn't matter. And that's not something you can look at all the like when I say heart disease, the reason why I say the heart disease is the biggest issue. You can look at the American Heart Association, the European I forgot what's the name of it, the same European Heart Association, like all of the that's not the name, but the same thing, but for Europe, all of these in every country, they all recommend reducing animal protein intake as much as you possibly can. So being healthy means eating as little meat as possible.
But
That's
that means-
regardless.
Can I ask
But
you
this
something?
isn't about you
who
eating
said
meat
that?
or not, right? This is doctors, organizations, medical
Okay,
organizations.
but they
all
make their
of it.
money from sick people.
They-
So wouldn't
Come on, we're not going to start making conspiracy
Okay.
theories
Okay,
right now.
okay.
Right? At the end of the day, what you need to know is that you can live and so you can survive and thrive on a plant-based
Yes.
diet.
Yeah.
There's plenty of examples out there. You have internet readily available now. People in the 1900s didn't. You do now.
If I
You
search
can
up now,
find it.
is meat diet good? It will say yes. If I
Okay.
search up,
No, search is
Is-
meat necessary.
if I search up,
Is
a
meat
plant
necessary?
diet healthy? I'll find yes. Whatever you search for, there's millions of articles which will corroborate your view.
But that's why you need to you know the pyramid of evidence.
Yes.
There's a pyramid of evidence. You don't just trust any source.
Of
You have to
course.
read through the sources. And it doesn't matter. Like I'm not saying that being vegan is healthier, although I believe that it is. What I'm saying is that you can be at least
of
just as
course.
healthy, right?
But
Yeah.
can I ask you one
So
thing?
then why choose to exploit an animal for it?
Can I ask you one thing?
Why choose to exploit an animal?
I agree. It is wrong. But
You
now
agree,
I will
it's
answer.
wrong,
I will
okay.
answer the whole question.
Okay.
You said do I want to be in your basement and like chained up?
Yeah.
If you take me back 2,000 years, maybe 3,000, when we were still cavemen, right?
Yeah.
What would humans do? Humans would kill each other, right?
So
Because they weren't as developed. Let's
So?
say that way.
So
We weren't as conscious. So why was that right then, and now it's wrong?
are you asking me the evolution of why? Like
No, I'm asking. It's evolution, right? We
well,
evolved.
it's not
We- no, no,
evolution
we
like of the
evolved.
body. It's a moral thing, right?
No,
We
but we-
evolved as a society to consider
no,
some
we
things
did.
moral and
Yeah,
some
but in
consider.
order for
we
that to
did.
happen, we had to evolve.
But we-
mentally.
Like
we
imagine
evolved, and we
imagine
have
during
evolved.
slavery, like slavery was considered moral. Well, like we evolved to understand that it's not moral because there are victims on the other side.
you're
I think
right.
You're
No,
arguing
you're
in
right.
extremes.
You're
I
arguing
don't
extremes.
think I don't think you have to be like completely only animal products or completely only vegan. You know, you can.
You can find a good
Yeah.
balance.
But every
Exactly.
time you eat an animal
For
product,
example,
you
like-
kill a sentient individual. What do you
Okay.
mean? It's like saying, imagine if I were to make a parallel with slavery, it's like saying, well, you don't have to have a slave every day. You can only have a slave on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're still enslaving somebody. You're still exploiting an animal. You're still enslaving the animal also.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
But let's talk. Okay, let's bring like a bit of economics into here. Okay.
Man.
Just hear-
Come on,
hear
these
me
are
out.
all
No,
excuses.
just hear me out,
These
hear me
are
out,
all
hear me out,
bullshit
hear me out.
excuses. Come on.
Let's go back to the macros and nutrients, okay? Like we can both agree, and come on, please don't lie to me, okay? We can both agree that in order for us to receive the same amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats, you have to eat vegan food at a higher quantity.
So
Correct?
wait, are you saying you have to eat more as a vegan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to eat a little bit more,
A
but
lot
that's
more.
good. Is it not good?
Yeah, but then
Wouldn't you wanna
but
eat
you
more?
can argue, but then for religious reasons, you can argue it's a sin.
It's a sin to
To
eat
overeat.
more. Well, for religion
Because you
reasons,
drive up
would you argue
inflation.
that it's wrong to kill an animal when you don't need to? For religious reasons, for the Muslims, doesn't it say
Yeah,
in the
you're right.
Quran that you shouldn't be killing any animal that is not specifically needed for you?
Exactly, you're right.
Yeah. So when you kill so if you don't need to eat animal products, then you kill an animal needlessly.
Of course, you know that's the thing. Because at the end of the day, I believe that you're right. You know the way that the food industry is
So then
handling
why
animal
not
products.
choose to not
Because
participate
wait,
in that?
just hear me out on this, okay? I agree with you. The way that the food industry handles, the animals and preparing them for food,
I know
it's
what
wrong.
you're saying, but it's not about the food
It's
industry.
fucked up,
It's
you know?
about exploiting animals. What are you saying? If I'm not part of the industry, if I start exploiting animals as an individual, it makes it better?
No, I'm saying that at the end of the day, we're human beings, and you're right. Like we have morals, and our morals have improved from back then.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Like the
But
way.
being vegan, if we had a vegan society, it would be better for our society. It'd be better for our
What about
health.
the way
It would be better for everybody. Like, wouldn't you argue that a place? Would you rather live in a world where we intentionally exploit animals or one where we don't?
but what about the bees?
But that's the thing. It all comes down to what do you consider exploitation? Like the torture of animals for food, I consider exploitation.
Yeah.
Like drug enhancements for animals for a sole purpose to make more food, I consider that exploitation.
All of it.
But
all-
do I
any-
consider-
any
do I-
exploitation
Killing
of
an animal,
animals?
killing
Killing
an
an
animal
animal
to feed,
killing
is
an
not.
I don't consider that
I don't consider
exploitation.
exploitation.
But that
What's
doesn't
it-
matter what you consider it or
But
not.
what's
If
the-
you were
what's-
in their shoes, would you accept the same treatment?
But you can't
but
make that
can't say
argument.
Listen, you can ask yourself, if you were in the shoes of an animal, in the situation that the cow is,
Any animal
would you
would say no.
consider the same treatment okay if
Of course
somebody
not.
kills?
Of course not.
No,
But
no.
if you're a salmon swimming in the river, would you think the salmon wants to get eaten by the bear? Of course not.
No, but
that's just the way the
the
world works,
difference
it's
the difference
evolution.
is that the bear doesn't. Again, we come back to the same thing. The bear doesn't know any better, and they don't have a choice. Whereas you know better, and you have a choice,
Okay,
right? Like the idea is that when you're in that position, your oppressor can't stop oppressing you. They
Okay,
can say,
I have
"Don't
a
oppress
better
me."
argument for you. I have a very better argument for you. Okay, would you rather? Okay, let's pick this right now. Okay,
We're
imagine
going in
you're a cow.
circles.
No, no.
Imagine you're a cow. Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather live in the wild and have to fend off wherever you can have?
I'd rather live and be free. Yes,
Where will you?
But what if, like
I value freedom. Don't you value freedom?
I value freedom to
So
but
would you rather be a well-fed farm animal who's being exploited and slaughtered whenever the farmer says you're no longer worthy to him, or would you rather be a wild animal who's, let's say, mostly starving, but you get to live your life free
No, but-
however
no,
you
but
want?
that's
If
what I
was,
mean.
But the thing is, right? We
Like,
don't,
that's what
we
I-
So
don't
you see,
choose-
that's the whole
I haven't-
thing.
I
No,
haven't
but I mean,
chose-
okay, like I wouldn't kill him any time, but I told you, like I would like allow the animal to live for quite a long time to experience
But
most of
that's-
its inner life,
But
can
who
I-
are
On
you
top
to
of
say
that-
when the animal deserves to live or die?
I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it's modern day world. We have technology. We can judge and we can assess the animal's health.
Yes.
If we see that the animal is really unhealthy and cannot
But that's not the case of what you're supporting right now, okay? So these hypotheticals don't work in your favor, right? What you're supporting right now is a system that brings to life animals to
Yeah, we
exploit them.
maximi- no,
They
we
bring
give
them,
them
they
the- we
bring
give
them
them
barely to
maximum
1 year, 2
opportunities.
years old, and then they get killed.
Would you say
Not even
every-
10% of their life
would-
they don't live.
Would you say every
up.
animal has equal worth?
Every animal
Has
has
equal
has intrinsic value, equal intrinsic
Okay, great.
value.
So let's say the whole world is vegan.
Yeah.
We start making, instead of farm fields, we have, I don't know, corn fields, whatever. And you start pesticiding to make sure no insects, no ants,
Yeah.
no bees, they die.
Wait, why would you not have any of them? There's wild bees, there are wild insects.
Not
What do you
well,
mean?
I'm saying the ones that attack the crop. You
But
kill
those
them.
those are get killed anyway. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, crops are
Yeah, but
needed
then-
to feed both animals and us
But then why are we killing them?
because we need to protect food sources either for us or for the animals.
So why don't we think of something of a way to without killing
We
all those
should, but
animals?
what does that have to do with you
Because
exploiting animals right
because
now?
you're saying anyways, regardless, if I'm buying, let's say, a corn, and you kill these little insects there, living there to protect the corn, why does that insect have less value than the cow?
Because when you're buying cow, you're killing also all the insects that were killed for the food of the cow.
So not necessarily.
What do you mean not necessarily?
Not
That's how it
necessarily.
happens.
I mean, of course, but at the end of the day, insects are gonna die, right?
So
Don't
wait,
you
so
think-
it's justified when you kill a cow, it's justified to kill all
No,
the
but I'm
insects for the
saying-
food of the
no,
cow,
that's not
but
what
when
I'm
you have
saying,
to kill the
No,
food,
but look, if death is unavoidable in the
if
first
death is
place,
unavoidable,
so
it's
we might as well
inevitable.
eat the animal products.
but death is unavoidable, is that a good enough justification for somebody to take your friend's life saying death is unavoidable?
Well,
so
no,
I'll
they're
kill
not
your
taking
friend
my
and eat
friend.
If the
them.
animal dies if I eat tofu, or if another animal dies if I eat it, then what's the
But
difference?
let's put it this way. First of all, the system cannot improve. Like if you have agriculture, right? If you have, what you're saying is a crop death argument is called, okay? So what you're saying is that animals die in crop production, therefore it's okay to farm animals because animals anyway die in crop production, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in crop production, first of all, most of the crops grown worldwide are for the animals. So the animals that die in crop production are the number of animals is magnified when you eat an animal because you also responsible for all the deaths that happen in the crop production to feed that animal. Number one, okay? So inherently being vegan means less animal deaths, right? But that's not about it, right? All these deaths are incidental deaths. They're deaths where we do it to protect the crops.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas this one is a system of exploitation, abuse, and slaughter of animals. Our intent is to take everything we can from these animals. On this other side, our intent is to protect our food. It's okay to protect our food. It's okay for you to protect your house and to kill like imagine this way. It's okay to protect your house. If somebody invades your house, it's okay to shoot them and say, get the fuck out, okay?
Yeah.
But if you intentionally take somebody, exploit them, and then shoot them, it's a different scenario, is it not?
Yeah.
That's all
So-
it is.
Yeah,
I
but-
think we should boycott almonds.
Listen, man. Listen.
No, go on.
No, come on, like to push.
If you were in the shoes of the animal,
No, man, I'm saying
Well,
like if
you
you want,
can't-
if you're saying all this, we should boycott everything where let's say bees have to
fine,
get flown
boycott
out for
almonds.
pollination.
Fine, boycott almonds.
saying.
Okay, so then don't eat almonds, but
I
also
won't.
don't eat animals.
I won't.
So you're not gonna eat animals?
I can't promise you anything.
Okay, so you want to boycott almonds, but animals.
I will boycott
Come on,
almonds.
man.
instead.
Come on,
I'm
don't-
kidding.
don't
but
be-
I won't boycott almonds. I'm kidding, bro. But I think, I'll be honest. What you said, you brought up some very good points.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest. And you're very educated in the field, right?
Because I defend animals.
Because you've done your research and you know everything to defend.
Okay.
We're three random guys here. I like to meat. I eat meat for the taste of it and because I enjoy the taste, right?
Yeah.
If we have no background in nutrition, we haven't done our research, all these environmental facts that you're presenting with us, if you bring someone equivalent to you, but let's say who defends meat,
Yeah, it's,
I am sure a lot of the points you brought up could be invalidated.
They
And
can't.
same way, a lot
I
of the
mean,
points
at the end of the day,
they can't.
Yeah,
a lot
but
of the points he
you're
brings
just-
up, you can invalidate as well.
Yeah,
they can't.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of research is done.
That's not true. It's
Mate,
physics.
Not,
It's physics. It's food. You know what the food chain that you keep mentioning is?
Yes.
It's a trophic chain. You know what the trophic
Yes.
chain measures?
what's the measure?
It measures energy, how
That's
energy
right,
flows in
yeah.
a system,
That's
right?
right.
So you have first feeders, you have the base feeders who plants who take the energy from the sun,
Yes.
right? Then you
Yes, of
take
course.
20% of the animals that eat the plants take 20% of the energy,
Of course.
and then you take the animal and you eat 20% of that energy.
Of course,
How is that
of course.
efficient, better, more
Huh?
efficient, or in any way? And you can't tell me that morally speaking, anybody defending meat will say that it is moral to exploit and slaughter a sentient individual. So
Yes,
all the
but
things
it's-
that you're saying is whether the product is optional or not, and whether that you can agree to disagree. But the reality is that most of the studies, most of the meta responses, they
It's
all
fucked.
say that it is
It's,
optional.
no, it is fucked up. But you can also say like a lot of the world.
This
is
isn't
fu-
a perspective
lot-
of
I-
mine. This
I'm
is
saying,
facts.
I know, I'm agreeing. It is fucked. It is fucked. But that is, I'm sorry, that's the way the world is right now. It is wrong, but this is the way it is. And you can make the same point for countless industries. You can make the same point, and even worse point, my friend, for the jewelry trade, the diamond trade.
So
Like,
don't buy jewelry.
Okay,
I'm just saying
600
it's
years ago,
it's an
would you have
existing industry.
considered?
Yeah, but you pay 3 times per day for this industry. You support this industry 3 times per day. If you don't like it, don't support it. If you don't like the diamond industry, don't support the diamond industry. If you don't like the phone industry, don't support the phone industry. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that if you think that something is wrong, don't participate in it. It's as easy
At
as
the
that.
end of the day, a lot of things in this world are built because of oppression, or built on or built
Are
on
you
oppression.
justifying oppression now?
I am not justifying
A lot of
oppression, but
things
with
were
your-
built with slavery.
I
Doesn't
agree,
mean that's
I agree,
okay.
but with your point, you say if you don't agree with something, boycott it, right? Like don't do it.
Yeah, don't be
Okay,
part of it.
So your phone, lithium batteries,
Yeah.
where are they built? Where are they?
I don't agree. Do you know how long I've wanted to try I want to change my phone? It's 4 years old. I don't want to buy.
I'm saying,
and I'm never going to buy a
I'm
new
saying-
phone ever. So
I'm-
what's your
no,
point
I'm
even?
saying it's very difficult to say that this world and that choices are made when oppression exists everywhere.
Okay,
That
so
is-
so let's put it
that
this
is-
way.
That is a sad
It
reality.
is difficult for me. What you're saying is it's well, everybody there's some form of oppression in the world. Everybody kind of dies. So for me, raping a woman is basically nothing because you
No.
know what? Everybody's going to suffer. Everybody's going to die.
No.
No.
How
So
are you
then why is
comparing
it?
How are you comparing rape of women to
Yeah,
Do
the
you know
iPhone
that
eat
battery?
animals are
animals.
raped in the all meat industry? Animals are forcefully impregnated. That's rape. They
Yes.
are forcefully impregnated. How am I comparing raping a woman to raping an animal? It's the same action.
Yeah, but that's okay. But that's the thing. You're making the
There's no
argument
consent.
of the care of animals that are being
No,
provided
I'm
to
making an
us.
argument that these animals deserve to live and be free.
Okay, 800 years ago, before we had to access technology, would you argue the idea of us hunting for animals cruel?
I'm not. I don't think this discussion is going anywhere. So I'm just gonna give you guys some resources because, like, just look into it more. I don't think you're right. By the way, you should look more into it if you want to be on the right side of it. But just don't be violent towards animals. That's all I'm saying. And all the justifications of saying, well, there's violence all around the world. That doesn't justify me being violent towards anybody just
of
because there's
course.
violence around the world,
I
does it?
fully agree.
Right? So then don't be violent towards animals. So go on this website called veganfuture.org and watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You learn about dairy, you learn about eggs, and you learn about bees because you keep mentioning bees.
Of course, I've seen.
But it's not footage that you see. It's a
the
speech
videos.
by somebody,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
Watch that,
I
give
agree.
that a watch, and
I've seen-
learn more about it. There's
I have-
nothing wrong with knowing where your food is coming from.
Of
Okay.
course, of course.
Okay. Anything else? You have vegan restaurants here and around Amsterdam. And if you choose that you don't want to participate in this, you don't want to be violent, then go for Challenge 22.
Come on, you can't do that.
It is violence.
You can't do that.
It is
come
violence.
On.
It is violence.
You
That's the
can't do
reality.
that.
That's the reality. It is violence.
Come on.
It is violence.
so-
Is it
that's-
not violent to kill an animal for something that is optional for you? Is it not violent? Regardless of how you treat them, is it not violent?
If I search
you
up right
can't-
now,
like-
I'll want to search it.
I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, like if you're gonna look in the world's perspective, taking an extreme always goes wrong.
This isn't an extreme. The extreme
it's
is
an extreme.
the extreme is being violent towards animals for something optional.
but
Imagine
at
during
what
slavery,
cost?
somebody saying
Okay.
it's an extreme to abolish
Yeah,
slavery.
but come on.
See,
Like,
it's
could
not
I-
an
could I-
extreme.
Could I show you one thing? If you search up, if you search up on search engines looking for an answer in mind, I can show you here this
Show me.
fact. No statistically significant differences have been shown for total cardiovascular disease between vegans and meat eaters.
That's okay. Yeah.
So the point that you made.
That's what I said. That you can be at least just as healthy.
No, but you said that meat is a very big causer of heart
What
disease.
even is that source? Show me the source.
Yes,
what I said,
see?
it is. What I'm saying is that the older. Oh, fuck. Leap. What the fuck,
No,
man?
let's check here. University of Oxford, no?
But this isn't even a study. This is an article that doesn't even have all the
Nah,
things. But
but
even
all
if it
I'm
is, that
saying-
still proves my point that you don't need to consume animal products to survive and
Yes,
thrive.
but I'm saying, but look, this is the point I made before. If you bring someone of equal like intellect in this field and to debate with you, I can search up.
This isn't a debate.
Hey,
I'm telling you,
debate.
listen. Okay, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. If what I'll agree with you on that one. Okay, but if imagine this in this hypothetical, if all the things that I'm saying are true,
Yes.
if that is true,
Yes.
would you guys think it's an obligation to go vegan and to not exploit animals?
If everything was true, fully everything,
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah.
But like I just,
Okay,
my
no,
brother,
fine.
like
I'll
I
be
just
honest
showed,
with
like I just showed you. If you search up with a goal in mind, if you don't have an answer in mind, for example,
No,
this is the first.
don't search with that goal in mind. Search with the opposite in mind. That's what
I'm
you do.
saying.
That's what it's
That's
called.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is the first thing you learn at university, right? To not search up.
Yeah,
for
I'm a
studies.
scientific skeptic. I search the opposite always.
Of course,
I
I'm
understand
saying
what
if
you
you
mean.
search to something to support your view, right?
I'm not searching for things to support my
I'm just
view.
telling you, like I just did. You can find something that will support your view.
Listen, when I do my research for this, I don't just search and then look at the first resource
course.
and then go. I go to
course.
several other things,
Of
right?
course, that's the way it's
Okay,
about.
so please watch this speech, the most important speech you'll ever hear, veganfuture.org, and please stop participating in this violence towards animals. Okay, it is violence towards animals. When you will buy meat or any
So,
animal
what
product,
do
you will be
think-
violent
What
towards
do you think
animals.
about clothes?
Well, also, like veganism is a moral stance against all the commodification of animals.
So
That
we
means
should all
for
be
food,
naked.
clothing, entertainment, or anything, right?
Okay.
So, like, don't wear leather, don't wear down or stuff like that. They all exploit animals, of course. Stop it. And yeah, if you feel like if you're against the exploitation of humans, then also try to not exploit humans and try to buy the clothes from sources that are ethically sourced, of course.
Yeah.
But like when it's animals, it's pretty black and white. When it's humans, it's a bit more difficult, right? You have to do your research. But with animals, it's fairly simple. If it's an animal product, an animal was exploited, abused, and slaughtered for it. That's all it is. There's no ifs and buts. There's no middle ground on that. It's
Well, I mean,
black-
what if the animal died and instead of letting it go to waste, you eat it?
Listen, if that scooter over there accidentally runs over a dog and you want to eat that dog,
Yeah.
I still think it's commodifying that dog. I still think it's wrong, but
Yeah.
it doesn't contribute to the extra demand for more animals being brought into an existence. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you don't do that. I'm just gonna tell you it's still commodifying the animals. I still find it wrong, but I'm not gonna encourage you to not do it.
So you'd rather that goes to waste?
Well, I would like if a human being dies, would it be a waste to consume them?
I
Would
mean,
you- why
that's
wouldn't
like
you-
cannibalism, but I mean, if we're talking about animals, so for example, for the purpose of leather for clothes,
Yeah.
if like I don't know, a cow dies, so you'd rather just like
It's like
let it go to
letter-
waste?
I would rather just let them die if that's what
But
it
if
is.
they're already dead.
Yeah, so if a
You'd
human
rather let it go to
yeah,
waste.
so I would, however you would treat an animal, however you would treat a human being, a stranger, I would treat an animal the same way. Why is that bad? Why would you treat them differently? Like you fail to show me a
Okay.
difference where they deserve different treatment.
Well, I mean, if the animal's already dead, what's the difference?
Exactly. If the human's already dead, what's the difference?
Well, we're not gonna wear like I'm not gonna wear the skin of someone else.
Why? When you're wearing leather, you are wearing the skin of somebody else. You're wearing the
Yeah,
skin
but
of an
how-
animal.
It's already dead, so you, I mean.
So
might
the
as
same
well.
for a human
But
can be
then-
said. So if a human
Because
dies, what is?
that's the whole emotional conscience that we've developed, isn't?
No, this is-
it's because animals. If another animal dies, the other animal will eat the other animal.
No, there were
see each
humans
other,
in
yes.
history that would
No.
wear the skin of other humans.
Could you
What do
make
you
the
Yeah,
mean?
I mean that's like
Yeah.
personal preference, but I mean,
Can you make a same point? Let's
animal-
say the wolf pack. All right, a wolf pack. Why don't they attack?
Whatever animals do,
no, no.
you know better than
I
them, right?
understand, but
You said
can't-
we're superior.
Can't you make the same reason that humans? That's why we stick together, right? In the sense that that's why if I choose to kill him, I will be punished, right? What's the difference between humans choosing to, let's say, stand with
You mean
humans?
legally?
No, just in general. What's the difference between humans choosing to stand with each other and, for example, a wolf pack? If they need food, why don't they start killing each other? They don't, because that's their species.
But
Isn't it?
what are you talking about? Lions kill each other all the time. Wolves kill each other also.
Yeah,
what
they
do
do.
you mean? They
Oh,
do.
Then I was wrong.
Well, but humans also kill each other. It doesn't really matter what animals or other people do, right? Does it matter that other people? Does it matter that those two people out there or whoever it is lives on this earth, they exploit humans, they rape women, they kill humans? What you gotta ask yourself is, just because everybody does it, do I want to be part of it? No. That's
You
all
are
it
right.
is, right?
You are right.
Right. So if everybody exploits animals, it doesn't mean you have to do it also. You can choose not to. That's all I'm saying. I'm not looking to be right, by the way.
I'm saying,
I appreciate it, but
Just
like,
exchanging opinions. You know?
I appreciate it. Like, just see it from this perspective,
No, of
where we,
course, of
because
course.
you know the reality is, if you think about the brainwash that we have been served, is the only brainwash that we've been served is that somehow animals deserve to live less than us. So that's why we can justify doing all of this, because as young people, when you're kids, you see animals. Obviously, if you would never, as a child, say it's okay to kill an animal
Yeah.
because you like them, but then somehow you accept it because they tell you it's needed. They sell you all this bullshit. But now we're adults. We know it's not needed. Maybe it was in the past. I don't even know. But now it's not. So now we can choose better options for us. Okay.
All right.
Watch that video, guys.
By the way, I'd like to thank you for
Exactly.
the way
Thank you, bro.
you're handling your.
It was
Hey,
nice
thank you
talking
for
to
having this
of course.
conversation
Yeah.
with me. I like it when
you're
you
doing it
guys
the right way,
ask
by the way.
questions and
You're doing it the right way because you know, like, you're not forcing yourself onto people.
I'm not
you
for,
know?
of course. It's,
Yeah,
it's
so I
about
appreciate
all your
that too,
values.
yeah.
Okay.
It's really nice talking to you. Thanks.
Okay,
I
it's
appreciate
nice
it.
talking to you guys.
Thank you
Hey,
so
my
much.
YouTube channel is Vegan Power Lab.
Vegan Power Lab?
Yeah.
Is that where this is
Yeah,
going?
that's where
All
this
right,
is
awesome.
now.
All right,
And
cool.
like, guys, when you will buy an animal product future, you will be exploit an animal. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't want to be in their shoes, then don't do it to them. Okay.
Exactly.
Alright.
Okay.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
nice
Appreciate
talking
it.
to you.
Have a
Have a
good
good one. Okay, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. It was a long one. They were nice guys at the end. I don't know. They kind of understood it. They had a lot of arguments. I think this would have been a good conversation to record and then post. But yeah, I think the market is closing. Let's see if we can get somebody else. The battery's still okay. See, maybe we get somebody else. One more conversation. They saw it as a debate. Yeah, they kind of did see it as a debate. I think I like that they didn't get so upset. What I liked about them is that when I called them up on their bullshit, they didn't get upset about it. Some people get really triggered and really upset about it, whereas they were like, yeah, okay, maybe you're right, or yeah, what if, what if? Yeah, there were a lot of what ifs. There were a lot of things. I'm not sure if they understood all of it, but they at least, got the perspective. Yeah, Louis, they were a lot about those fallacies indeed, but like, that's the point. It's not the first time I hear this point where people are like, yeah, but if you would bring somebody who is better argumentative, they would better argue the point that it's okay to eat meat. And I'm like, what I was trying to tell them, okay, maybe, but like, you're still exploiting us as individuals. No way around that. Hey, you want to try? Chip just keeps going. Power. Yes, just keep going. Please like the video and subscribe. Hey, want to try? I keep going. I have 30 more minutes left in me, I would say. I hope we can get somebody. I saw while I was talking to them there was somebody interested, but yeah, I don't know. Holy Seraphim said this just convinced me to never be vegan. Why? Live and let live. Really? As a non-vegan, you say live and let live? That's ironic, isn't it? Oh my God, that's such an ironic thing to say from a non-vegan. Chip tried to bring your energy down. Why? Oh, I see. I see. There's a lot of non-vegans in the chat. That's okay, guys. You can be there. Maybe you'll learn. Maybe you'll ask yourself, is it okay to exploit sentient individuals for optional products? Ask yourself, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay to be violent to animals just because you can? Is it okay? Ask yourself. What is your arm bicep measurement? I have no clue. I have never measured that. I don't even know if that people measure that. Chip, you're awesome, I think. Thank you. I'm going to therapy to try and understand that myself. So thank you, but I appreciate it. Yes. So it's okay to be violent. Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay. I don't think it's okay to be violent. And if you're a violent person, sure, maybe towards you, you think it's okay because you're inflicting the violence, you're not receiving it. But I don't think if somebody would be violent towards you, you would be okay with violence. So maybe think about it that way. You're not the only one living in the world. Let's see if we can get somebody else. Want to try? Yeah, in English, yeah.
What's the social experiment?
I ask you some questions to get you to think. How does that sound?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Can you come in view?
Sure.
Okay. What's your name?
Mikey.
Nice to meet you, Mikey. I'm Chip.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so how do you feel? How do you feel about oppression?
Oppression.
Are
Don't
you
really
for
have
it?
an opinion.
Are you for it? Against it?
Against it.
Against
probably.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the way, just to be clear, oppression. I looked it up before. It's cruel or unjust behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Like prolonged cruel or unjust behavior. Okay. So you said you're against it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No. Okay. Even if it benefits them.
No.
Okay. Even if the powerless don't know that they're being oppressed.
No.
Okay. And even if the powerless look different, maybe they have a different skin color or something.
No. Shouldn't oppress.
Okay. So then, I'm not trying to catch up on this one, but how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think we're oppressing them?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So seeing as you're against oppression, I would assume you do consume some animal products.
Yeah.
And there is oppression behind that, right? So you're supporting a system of oppression.
Probably.
Don't you think there's a contradiction there where you're saying you're against it, but you're supporting it?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. So what would get you to not oppress animals?
Don't know.
Don't know.
That's how I was raised.
That's how you were raised?
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, we were all raised that way, but do you think that's a good enough justification to oppress somebody?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Do you is there anything holding you back from stopping this oppression?
Well, I'm mostly vegetarian, to be honest. But I have a little bit here and there.
Do you know anything about the dairy industry, for example?
Not too much. I know that they have a lot of cows in a small amount of space, and it's not,
Okay.
probably not very good for them. Not very free range sometimes.
Let me give you some, just to get some perspective on what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, why do cows produce milk?
Don't know.
So they produce milk for they're mammals. They produce milk for their babies, right?
Yeah.
So what farmers do, they don't wait for them to decide to get pregnant. Rather, they forcefully impregnate them.
Okay.
Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix, and injects bull semen.
Oh.
Somebody has to jerk off a bull for that to happen.
That's not good.
That's not good, is it?
No.
Okay. And after 9 months, when the baby is born, what do you think happens to the baby?
It gets killed, turned to veal.
Well, so if the baby is, first of all, the baby gets separated from the mother.
Yeah.
Because the milk has to go for humans,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, normally the cow made the milk for their babies, but we say no, it's our milk.
Yeah.
And if the baby's a male, they're useless to the industry. They don't produce milk. So
All right.
you're right. They
Slaughtered.
do get killed.
Yeah.
If the baby's a female, what do you think happens to them?
Breed them to become a cow and milk them like
Yeah.
the other cows.
Year over year, forceful
Yeah.
impregnation, and after 6 to 8 years, when they can no longer produce enough milk for the farmer to justify keeping them financially alive,
Yeah.
they get killed also.
Okay.
And they can live up to 20 years,
Yeah.
so they don't live even half their life.
That's not good.
That's not good.
No. Are you a farmer?
I'm not a farmer,
Okay.
no. But this is standard practice, it's for free range, also biological, ecological, all of this, organic. My question to you is, do you want to keep participating in the system? Do you want to keep supporting the system?
Well, if there was a way to make it slightly different, like there's been changes over time. I think, for example, like different like sorts of milk, like oat milk and things like that. I guess there's like less need for eating meat over time.
There is no need for eating.
Well, my opinion is there's less need now, probably, because you can get protein from different places. But
Yeah.
then people, I guess, are just kind of doing their own thing. So
For you yourself specifically, right?
Yeah.
I understand there's different cases for every person, but like for you yourself specifically, knowing that there is no need to eat any animal products, why not choose the compassionate option or the fair option? Because the reality is the other option is not fair towards them, right?
I can't answer that question.
You can't answer that question. Why?
I don't know. Can't answer that either.
So let's say you're faced the next meal. In your next meal, you will have an option. One exploits an animal and one doesn't.
Yeah. We're gonna go home, have some pesto and gnocchi. It's gonna be really nice.
Okay, maybe without cheese, because pesto has cheese.
Not this one. It's just like basil. And
Okay,
pine nuts, I think.
okay. That's kind of nice, I guess. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in a, well, let's say when you're faced with a situation where you're thinking of exploiting an animal, why choose to do that? Like, why not?
Probably would not like to exploit the animal.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like I wanna. Do you understand this perspective where?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
understand a lot why people don't like choose that perspective as well, and like it's
Do you know what veganism is?
Yeah, of course I do.
Can you walk me through it to be sure that?
I don't really need to. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but a lot of people think it's a diet. That's why. Do you think it's a diet?
It's like a lifestyle, I think.
Yeah. So
Probably
it's a moral principle and a lifestyle. That's true. But it's a moral principle where we oppose the commodification of animals. That means we don't want them to be exploited, abused, or slaughtered.
Okay.
For food, clothing, entertainment, or any other reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say you align with that definition?
Yeah, I think it benefits a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I agree with a lot of the principles for sure.
Okay. So then, would you see yourself as going vegan?
It depends really. It just depends like where I feel I'm at a certain point. Can't say that right now.
Why is it
Definitely
yes
have
and why is
considered
it not?
I don't know. It's a bit grayer for me. I think a little bit. It's a bit more of a grey area.
But do you think it's grey for the animals that when you buy an animal product they get forced into
Well, probably not.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'll say really. We've got to go, but it's nice talking to you.
Let me
anyway.
just give you some resources. Can I give you some resources to look into it?
I've got a lot.
It's just one thing. Come on, it's nothing. It's not. Don't be reluctant. It's about the animals. It's for them.
Okay.
So, this is a map with all the vegan places in Amsterdam.
Okay. That's nice.
And just one thing. Well, not all of them. Sorry, some of them.
Some of them.
Okay. The good ones. Go to veganfuture.org.
Okay.
Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear.
Okay.
Can you promise me you'll do that?
I'll have a look. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
It
Nice
just
to meet you.
teaches you about the practices in animal agriculture. Okay. What's your name?
Mikey.
Mikey. Okay, I forgot. I'm Chip. Nice to meet you, Mike. Have a good one. Bye. Closed off immediately, right? Immediately closed off to the idea. I don't know why. Maybe a future vegan. I doubt it. Who knows, actually? I don't doubt it. Maybe he'll look at it. Maybe he was just shy. There's also people who are shy, yeah. Oh, that's such a good point, Anna. Why is it too uncomfortable to imagine? Why demand someone else go through what you can't even imagine because you're too afraid? Yeah. Yeah, I asked him, but he didn't really want to discuss. He felt like he wanted to leave. His girlfriend was there, like making signs. I don't know, Let's see if we can get one more conversation before I go. Chip, are you staying hydrated out there, my bro? No. No, I'm intentionally not staying hydrated because if I hydrate, I'm gonna have to pee. I haven't eaten in 3 hours or so yeah. Chip rocks, yeah! Chip rocks. Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 more minutes. Nobody comes, then that's my threshold when I have to leave because I'm going to dinner with the vegan restaurant with some friends that are not vegan, but at least we're going to a vegan restaurant, so hey, there's at least that. You want to try a social experiment? Okay.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Satch. Nice to meet you.
Sash?
Satch. Yeah.
Satch. Nice to meet you, Satch.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about oppression?
Oppression.
Yeah.
Like being oppressed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Are
not
you
okay.
for it or against it?
No, against oppression. Yeah.
Okay.
we
Do you
don't
think the
support that.
powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No. Okay. Even if
No,
it
I
benefits
feel like the
them.
power should support the oppressed.
Okay. Even if it benefits them.
If it
Like-
benefits the powerful.
It benefits the powerful.
Yeah. No, of course not. Yeah.
Even if the powerless.
They're
don't
already
know.
powerful. They don't need any more
Okay.
benefits.
Even if the powerful don't know that they're being oppressed.
The powerful don't know they're doing the oppressing, or the powerful.
Sorry, the powerless don't know that they're being oppressed.
I see. I think if it's morally wrong, then no. If it's morally like.
Well, what do you think? Is it morally wrong to oppress somebody even if they don't know
Yeah,
that they're
of
being
course.
oppressed?
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So then, what do you think about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think we're oppressing them?
Well, I don't think they feel that way, but I think we are. I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
So for me, it's I don't like to kill animals. I don't eat animals. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the dairy industry?
I know a little bit. I know that cows do get abused,
Yeah.
as they are. If you've heard of Fairlife?
Yeah.
Fairlife,
No, I haven't heard of Fairlife.
Farmer's Oak.
Yeah.
It's an American brand. They came out with they do abuse their cows and stuff like that.
Do you consume dairy products?
No, I do sadly. I do drink their milk. I do.
So
drink their
isn't
milk.
that also a form of oppression?
It is. It is. They should be treated better.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
So do you understand that in this from this perspective, you are basically the oppressor to them, to the animals?
I can see that. Yeah, I
You
can see that. I never
right.
thought about that. I never
Yeah.
thought about
So do you want to keep oppressing them?
that. No.
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 Do you understand that you can't stop oppressing? Do you understand you can live a plant-based diet and
I
survive
can.
and thrive?
I can definitely live
Yeah.
plant-based diet. I'm already vegetarian, so I mean.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Do you know what veganism is?
I do know what veganism is.
Can you walk me through it to be sure that I have the right definition?
You eat no dairy, no cheese, no dairy products, and any products that come from an animal.
Yeah. So veganism is a moral stance. First of all, it's not a diet. It's a moral stance where we oppose the commodification of animals. That means we don't want animals to be exploited, abused, or slaughtered for anything for us. That means food, clothing, entertainment, anything, right? We don't wear leather or any of that stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Because for all of those, animals get exploited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you align with that definition of not wanting animals to be exploited?
I
for
think
you?
I do. I think I
Yeah.
do,
Okay. So then, do you think like, would you want to take the next step and not, and completely boycott all of these industries and say no, I don't want to support any of these? Because when you buy an animal product, even if it's dairy, even if it's eggs, one animal gets exploited for you.
Exploited. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to keep supporting this exploitation, or do you want to be on the side that doesn't?
I'd rather be on the side that doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So going forward, do you want to go vegan?
I think I could definitely see myself going vegan. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any questions for me?
No, that was awesome. No, I really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, where are you from, by the way?
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a very
very kind of
state. Exactly.
Not a lot of people.
Being a vegetarian there it's tough. So
Let me give you some resources, okay? Maybe they'll help you out. Also on this and other stuff. Normally I have a card, but I'll give you this one right now.
Oh, yeah,
because I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
So this is a map of vegan restaurants in Amsterdam. By the way,
awesome.
if you guys are here, I would strongly
Yeah.
recommend. These are much better than the other ones because most of them are tourist traps. These are pretty good. Like you
Okay.
could judge by healthy,
these
semi-healthy, and junk food.
Okay.
And on this other side, veganfuture.org. There's a video there called "The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear." Promise me you'll give that a watch.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
it teaches you about all the practices in dairy,
I
eggs,
bet.
and all that,
Yeah.
just so that you know what you're paying for.
Awesome.
And if you don't want to be part of any of it, yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I can give you another one. If you
No,
want.
you're good. You're good.
Okay, so this is challenge22.com. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you
wow.
vegan recipes every day, help you get the best nutrition
Oh wow.
just on a plant-based diet. Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
Just keep in mind that going
Yeah, for
forward,
sure.
when you buy an animal product, an animal is exploited, abused, and slaughtered for you. And if you don't want that to happen, just avoid it.
Avoid it,
Okay.
yeah.
Until you make a decision, avoid it, and then make a decision for
Alright,
yourself.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do that. I
Everything.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for
You
sure.
said Satch.
Yeah, Satch.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet
nice
you,
to meet you,
Satch.
man. Thank you.
It's nice to see open-minded people.
Yeah,
huh?
of course. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one.
Nice meeting you. Yeah. Maybe share with your friend that video.
I'm gonna try to.
Okay,
I
nice.
try to make a vegetarian.
Have a good one. Okay, everybody, that was a good conversation to end it on. I feel like this guy was pretty open-minded. I actually got a good feeling from him, and I think like if he watches the video, I think he will go vegan. I'm fairly certain of it, or at least that's how it felt like from this position. Nice Satch, says Ali. Yes. Okay. Thank you everybody for being here. Please hit that like, subscribe, drop a comment afterwards. You know, it helps with the algorithm. Normally I post a video on Thursdays. I might not do it tomorrow because I did this today and I have some news about my whole lifestyle. I will keep on doing the same amount of outreach and will be posting the same amount of videos, but there's some change happening right now. I'll explain it and I'll do a post where I explain all of it. I don't want to explain it yet. And that means there might be 1 or 2 weeks, like it happens this week where I only post once a week, but I still will do this live outreaches that I keep doing. So do you have other hobbies? Yes, I do have other hobbies. I like aside from the gym and reading science and all that stuff, I also like bouldering. I'm very much into bouldering. That's a very cool one. I'm very much into city planning. I like that a lot. I like architecture. I like to play games I play games on computers. I like a lot of stuff. But I don't have time for a lot of stuff, so that's a different thing, right? I like a lot of stuff. I'm fascinated by a lot of stuff, but I don't have a lot of time for a lot of stuff. So anyway, thank you everybody for being here. I hope you have a good day. If you're not vegan, come on, stop being violent. If you're not vegan, stop it. Stop it with the whole thing. You know, we need you to stop being violent. If you really want to be violent towards animals and everybody else, like don't be violent, okay? Just don't be violent. If you're not vegan, you are violent. It's as easy as that. Animals die for you. That's violence. Don't be violent, okay? Don't support violence. Thank you so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. I will do another one this week. I will do another live outreach this week. And yeah. Oh, I usually just show you around. Let me show you around right now, just to get a glimpse of where I'm at. Let's see if I can. Okay, so there's obviously a lot of bikes. As you can see, this is a pretty typical Dutch street. The game is going to be tonight, so there's going to be a lot of people. Probably it's going to get really busy. And this is the market. It's closing now, so there's cars there. Normally there's no cars. And yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. And the metro is here, so there's also people coming out of the metro, but I guess people who are coming from that area, they're kind of busy. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day. Be vegan. Don't be violent. I'll say it again. Don't be violent. Be vegan. And yeah, you know, get more informed. If you're not informed, I will put all the links in the description of this video. And you can look at all those videos and judge for yourself, right? Because that's what I do, okay? So, Skater Fat Cat 13, I will post the links in the description of this video in the comments in maybe around maximum 20 minutes. Watch the video yourself and judge for yourself. Don't just be violent because you can be, okay? Don't just do that. Don't just be complicit in violence. That's just as bad as being violent, okay? Being ignorant towards it is also just as bad. So don't choose that. Choose to stop. You can choose to stop. Okay, so please stop. Okay, I understand you're maybe not understanding how you're oppressing animals and all that, but maybe give that video a watch, right? If you're anyway so sure of yourself, you got nothing to lose, do you? Huh? It's like basically you wouldn't lose anything. And same goes to you, tuiso suiso. Don't promote violence. Don't promote violence. So yeah, thank you everybody. Subscribe, even you non-vegan, subscribe. Maybe you'll actually learn something from it. Have an awesome day. Okay, have an awesome vegan day, everybody. And